It's the intergalactic soul, the honorable brother, the revolutionary yourself, Darius Lockhart, and I'm here to tell you to watch Powerbombshells every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on the Fight Game Media YouTube channel. That's right, every Sunday at 1 p.m., and that's on time, every time, because when we stand together, what time is it? That's right, it's nation time.
Welcome to episode 198 of Powerbombshells. I'm Mel. That's Sam. We're just two broads talking about the wrestling we're watching. What is shaking, Sam?
Well, we were having a little bit of technical difficulties this morning.
It was all my fault. No, it was all my fault.
It was. We just had some technical issues. It's just Powerhouse Hobbs didn't want to leave us, and so didn't want to show his face on our slate. So
what it is that WWE called us before the show and told us that we couldn't actually use the Will Hobbs slate anymore because
we did it anyway.
But we said F you, Paul Levesque, because you're named 44 times in a Sex Pest lawsuit.
He's not.
That you've never read.
Him. Not Paul. He's not named in it 44 times. Brock Lesnar is.
I'm sorry, Brock Lesnar is, but you're right. You were the boss over there.
I just want to listen. I'm not trying to get in trouble for.
You're right. You're right. I don't want to get pulled down or do anything. But your father-in-law is named 44 times in a Sex Pest lawsuit. So
still not. Brock Lesnar was named 44 times.
Damn it! All right. Well,
I mean, he was named a lot. I don't know how many times, but he's probably way more than 44 times. But Brock,
you're right. All right. Well. Okay, so as Brock was 44 times, so fuck Brock Lesnar. I got the F-bomb out of the way there early. So, but welcome to you guys.
Yes. I want to put up Brad's comment. He says, congrats to Mel for not having a shitty NFL team, although his just got their new coach, and it's a good day to be a New York Giant. Yeah, because their new coach is getting paid $100 million for 5 years.
Who did they hire? I can't
remember.
Oh, which one?
The one who just it's Jim.
Jim, right? Or John?
No, Jim, because Jim is the one who got fired from. He's the one who got fired 2 weeks ago.
I'll say okay. So Mr. Khaki Pants, yeah. I remember him.
He got a 5-year, $100 million contract yesterday. So congrats to Brad.
I mean, good luck to you guys. Mm-hmm. I mean, my dad was a Giants fan, so but I mean, Jim Harbaugh.
Falcons
have nothing nice to say about a person. I just call him Captain Khaki Pants and move on with my life. He used to be the Niners coach back in the day, so my hate runs deep for anything related to the Niners. Obviously, look at me. Although me and Mike Gilbert were having fun with it. So.
Shout out to Mike Gilbert for getting some love during the TNA debut Thursday night. Somebody during maybe they held it throughout, but Nikki spotted it in the main event, and somebody's holding up a sign that said "I heart Mike Gilbert." So
it's pretty impressive.
Shout out to Mike Gilbert. One day that'll be me and you. Somebody will have a sign that says they love Powerbombshells.
We're
going to speak it into the universe. One day, somebody will take a Powerbombshell show to sign to a wrestling show. Hopefully, more than 3,000 people will be there, but we'll take it. Listen, I'll take it at an indie show. I don't care.
Seriously, I don't even care. Maybe Brad will be on TV with our shirt sometime or something.
There we go.
Or Garrett. Maybe he's going to the LA shows or something.
Oh yeah. Nikki said at first she read that as congrats for having a shitty team, and she was like, oh, God dang. Her team is in the playoffs. And if the stupid ass Rams hadn't come back in the last couple minutes last week, it would be Carolina versus Seattle today.
Yeah. So, I hate the stupid ass Rams too, so it's all good.
F. Matthew Stafford for his comment he made last week. So I hope he gets murdered in the playoffs. That's my hope.
Matt Stafford is the funniest thing because I've lived here in Detroit for a good minute and he was still the quarterback here. Uh-huh. And these people have a blind spot. They have trauma. Lions fans, first of all, have trauma. They don't know how to win. And they're the only team that's gone 0 something ever. So, but they always blame the skill players and not the organization and not like the offensive line, for example.
Right.
And for years, I would argue with Lions fans that Matthew Stafford was perfectly fine. And because, as you know, Sam, you can't actually throw from your ass in football. So, and that dude was literally like 1 year was the most sacked quarterback when he was playing here. And I used to say to them all the time that it wasn't Matt Stafford. It was not the problem. Right. So they trade this dude away. And what does he do his first year? He goes to the Rams. He wins a Super Bowl. Look, he can throw when he's upright.
Right, exactly. Yeah, because for many, many seasons, I have tweeted to protect your effing quarterback because Cam would get sacked all the time. Bryce gets sacked all the time. So
quarterbacks cannot, in fact, it's literally in the rules that they are not allowed to throw from their ass.
Right. So
it's really
you
hard if you can't keep them upright. There's
a
reason Tom Brady and Peyton Manning used to like shower their O-lines with gifts and take them out for dinner and stuff.
Right.
Those are smart men right there.
What time are the Seahawks? Are they the 4:00 game?
They already played last night. It's the Rams.
Oh, that's right. They played last night.
The determination of who plays them in the NFC Championship.
That's right. I was not watching football yesterday because
I think it's back. I think it's NFC, AFC. I think they flipped it from yesterday. I can't remember.
Yeah, and I did see, because I didn't watch any of the game, but I did see that Bo Nix, the Broncos quarterback, got hurt in the second to last play in overtime and has to have season-ending surgery on Tuesday. So their backup quarterback, who has not thrown a pass since 2023, is leading the team next week in their playoff game.
Wow. I mean, fair play to the Niners, except, F the Niners because Santa Clara sucks and all that Seahawks nonsense. But in reality, like their team was super beat up, and to make it that far is pretty impressive. And even like last week, they had George Kittle go out, which is a giant thing. So for them to even play, but I mean, just guys kept going down. So it's not like.
Yeah, they were getting really, really beat up. And if they had made it even further, the way they were losing players, they might have lost the entire team.
It's going to be interesting because the Rams and Seattle are obviously division rivals. So this will be the third time they've played this year. And they do get to play at home, which is a huge advantage for Seattle, obviously. But
yeah,
we shall see. And the Bears, I would prefer the Bears, honestly, because the former offensive coordinator for here in Detroit is the head coach of the Bears. And I think that he is not fully, I think that team's not necessarily, if they can get past the Rams, which is a big ask.
Right.
I don't know. We'll see. Seattle's got the best defense in the league right now. They're like the highest scoring defense in the league.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
The last time they were this good was Legion of Boom years, and I lived that. I watched Cam Chancellor hurdle people multiple times. Literally.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Oh my God. I was talking to Dr. Preet about this because we're nerds about the footballs on the Discord. And I was talking to Dr. Preet about it, and it's like there's just something special about being at a Seahawks game. Like we were season ticket holders for a hot minute, and it's amazing. That's like the reason I adopted them. The reason that I lived out there for 13 years. It was the first time I ever went to a live game, for those of you who are newish. Yeah. And so then after living there for so many years and seeing the games and following the team, and I've just stuck with them because Cam Chancellor, Bam Cam. My dad was a Giants fan. I grew up in New England. It's because all of him and his family grew up in New York, Jersey, as I call it. I have the regions. There's Philly, Jersey, because New Jersey's so big. Right. There's the part that's like 2 hours from Philly and the part that's 2 hours from New York City. Right. So I call it Philly, Jersey, and New York, Jersey.
That makes sense.
And so my family's from New York, Jersey. Okay. They're from northern New Jersey. So there were fans of like my grandfather, all Yankees fans, except the step grandparents and step parents were all from New England. And that's where I grew up. So I lived in Maine. So there was a bunch of, my dad hated baseball and my mom was a Mets fan. because she was a Navy brat. So baseball was not a thing in our house until Seattle actually. I know you. Thanks, Seattle. I love Junior League baseball, and I used to love going to games. But thank the Seattle Seahawks and Safeco Field. I don't think it's called that anymore, but they brought me into the fold. I pay attention because you can't. Seattle is a sports town, and
for sure.
You probably know if you're in a sports town, you can't get away from the local sports teams no matter what you do. And I used to work downtown.
Yeah.
So it was like,
so it was everywhere.
They would ask us back in 2000, when the Mariners were in the playoffs, I was working at a live theater. People kept coming in and asking us if we had the game on back there. You would have loved it. It would have been your favorite.
Fantastic.
Boy, are those people! The suffering Mariners masses. I love them so much.
Yeah,
I root for the home team, but not when my team is winning.
I get it.
I am not a bandwagon jumper. I'm not like
Yeah.
I want the locals to be happy, unless they're playing the Seahawks.
Sure.
Sorry, friends.
As it should be.
That's my diatribe for that.
That is Football Corner with Sam and
Football,
Mel.
NFL.
That's playoff. I'm sure we'll talk about it some more. If this, depending on how much further the Seahawks go, we'll continue to talk about
Sports Ball Corner.
Is like our Sports Ball Corner.
I love it. Like, because I know from our Discord community and our pals in here that we all kind of chit chat about it. So it's fun because there's a lot of crossover fun that we've been having. And I still think Daza needs to take Mike up on that offer.
Daza had a great offer. Yeah.
And if you guys were following, Mike Gilbert had a fun weekend on Twitter, is what I would say. And I had fun having interactions with Mike Gilbert on Twitter this weekend. I like Mr. Gilbert a lot.
We need to have him on here. Actually, I need to, because we're close now. We live close together now.
You guys need to go to a show. They need to get a show there that you guys can go to, and then you guys need to go.
I know. I need to try to get him to come to like Ashe or something and see if he'll come up for that and we can go, or
wish casting.
Like that would be
cool. So there's two potentials. I think maybe this year, because a lot of people are talking about Chicago. So maybe Fight Game Con in Chicago. Wish casting.
I am down for it.
But if long term that doesn't happen, I think that Fight Game Con in Charlotte should be a thing, because I know it's local to you guys. I also have very good friends that aren't just you. So I have you guys. I have some other very good Ren Fair friends. We do during Ren Fair season. I could introduce you to a bunch of people you're besties with that you just don't know you're besties with yet. It's kind of how I treat this group. It's this community is like. And I've said this a million times, maybe on here, but I've said it around my town a lot, is like, if I ever had FU money, you would know, because I would throw a rager and fly all my friends that are out in Narnia all together so you could all meet each other, because you're all friends and you just don't know it yet.
That makes sense. We're
I
friends in
it.
an alternate universe.
Yeah, you guys.
in an alternate timeline, we are all friends. But yeah, I was going to say, and then at the very least, we can have Powerbombshells X Mike and JD show and have a crossover show and have at least, because we've had JD on before, so we can at least we can get Mike to come on.
He made
now that we're in the same time zone.
He came on for that promo to give me shit because I gave him shit.
That is right. He
came on so I could play the world's smallest violin for him.
That's right. So it's time for him to come back.
Maybe after the playoffs.
Yeah, we'll do.
Although if I search social somewhere, he gave me, like, early on in the year, he gave me / the Seahawks the division. He was so angry. So in the end, I mean, he gave this to us months ago.
Yeah.
So
well,
he has only himself to blame. See, because we know Twitter is eternal.
Yes, exactly. The Dodgers. I'm sorry, Brad. I love you, but F them. I hate them with a passion. Except Shohei and Freddie, the rest of them can go to jump in a volcano. I hate them.
I love sports rivalry so much. We love you, Brad. But that's how Sam feels about the touch.
Brad knows I love him, and I'm sure he feels the same way, and that's okay.
That's like me. I mean, honestly, that's me and Mike
this.
with the Niners. And Garrett and I never, it's funny because Garrett and I never broached the subject, but I think because Mike and I are both kind of sarcastic assholes, we like to have fun with that sort of thing. So.
Brad claims because he is the New York Giants, New York Rangers, and a Knicks fan, he's earned celebrating MLB supremacy.
Okay, well, that's, I mean, whatever you
I have thoughts about that. The Dodgers are gonna ruin the salary cap for everyone, and they're gonna they've ruined everything because most teams can't afford to do what they're doing, and they're ruining it for everybody else. And then now we're probably also baseball after this upcoming season is probably gonna go on another lockout. So
no way.
Yeah, it's trending. Wow. It's trending that way. They avoided a lock. Well, they played. It was a whole mess like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I remember.
And
COVID didn't help it.
No, well, they did play COVID baseball with no fans. But yeah, it's gonna.
Yeah,
it's gonna be. It might be a mess after this season, especially because Rob Manfred is a fucking idiot.
Oh man.
Oh, okay, so more sports ball corner. That's extended sports ball corner.
Hey, that's all right. We give the people what they want.
So let's talk about we'll give the people what they want, which is apparently wrestling content.
Wrestling content is it's on there. I mean, we're getting there. You know.
Nikki said, yeah. Nikki said that, she got Miley a Braves collar a couple of weeks ago because she volunteers at this place every week, and they had a Braves one and a Dodgers one, and the Dodgers one is still there, and she says it's because they suck. Brad, if Nikki said the other day, she said, "Does Brad have a dog?" And I was like, "I'm not sure." She was like, maybe I'll buy it to Brad's dog.
See, it's all in good fun, folks. It turns out you can have fun rivalries with your friends and family and not want to hurt them or disable their things or whatever, or out them as being weird. Hello.
Hey, Maria. And then I think we also
happy birthday to Kathy, by the way.
Oh, is that Kathy's birthday? Happy birthday.
Yeah, hers and mine are right next to each other.
That's
the same.
Right. Now that you say that sounds familiar. And then I want to come back up here. So hey to everybody in the chat. Thank you.
Welcome.
Tom.
Thank you. Back at you.
Make sure that you follow Tom Talks Rubbish here on this YouTube channel. He also has a new channel that I can't remember the off the top of my head. I'm sorry about that. Just blanked on what it's called, but he has another one. Nikki said it's actually because the collars are cute, but yeah, if you have to grab onto your dog real quick, not very
usually the gimmicky ones aren't great.
Yeah, which is probably why they got donated.
Because I usually with the gimmicky ones, I put them on around their regular ones. It's kind of like a decoration one versus my mother-in-law likes to make them little handkerchiefs and stuff with little themes. So
yeah, Nikki. Miley has a little bandana from somebody made one a few years ago, a Braves fan, and I got it from her. That she lived in Georgia, and I got one from her. And Miley just doesn't like to wear things. Mm-hmm. She gets annoyed with them, but now she's got she has a jacket that she has because we saw it at Target and didn't end up getting it. And then at the place Nikki volunteers, they had one. Somebody I guess probably bought it from Target and didn't fit their dog, so they just donated it. Because they had it a month ago, so this is a current jacket. And so Miley got it, and I posted a picture of her the other day. I should post it to our. Actually, I'm trying to avoid posting pictures on Twitter because now Grok can use them for AI because of their new terms, and I'm trying to use that app less and not post pictures there.
Yeah,
you can go to. I'll post it on our Blue Sky.
Yeah. Start using
I'll post it there. I'll post it on Blue Sky or Instagram. But Miley has a silver jacket. She looks like she came out of either an early 2000s music video, or she looks like she's a futuristic dog from
like a space dog, like from back in the day.
It's very cute on her though, and so she kind of likes it, kind of not, but I think she likes the way it feels because she rubs against the, like she's a dog that will rub when she wants outside, she rubs against the wall. I don't know that, and so
Riley does
now
that.
she does it with her jacket on, but I think because I can't tell if she was wanting the jacket off or she liked the way it felt. She
could be a little of both.
Yeah, and so we're trying to find Sadie a matching one, but they didn't have any, so she just has her cute little jammies. But it's been really cold, and so like it was like 20 degrees the other day, and so we've been trying to like and now it's raining, and she did not want to go outside this morning, and I was like, please don't get a UTI because you won't go to the bathroom in the rain. So I was like, we might just have to put her jacket on her and make her. But then it was funny because we had a jacket on her and she went outside and she was kind of like prancing around. So I guess she knew like that she looked good and was showing the neighbor dogs her jacket. She's like, look how pretty I look.
That's awesome. That's so cute. My old terrier, she used to hate it, and Bob would have to like go out and like shovel snow for her and like a whole area for her, and she would be such a jerk about it, and it was horrible. And she had jackets and stuff, but we couldn't get her to wear boots because it was.
Yeah, I don't think
it was a scene. Yeah. She there was no boot anyone could make that would stay on that dog. She could get out of every single one of them. They would go. It was always amusing to try and because she was 12 pounds, so I could hold her and I could get them on. But like literally within 15 seconds, they would go flying everywhere. She'd have
I used to have a dog that we would put socks on because he would walk around the hardwood floor all the time, even with his nails trimmed, and they were so noisy, but he'd always figure out a way to get them off.
Yep. She was not having that. She's like, nope, you have to make a warm spot for me that is acceptable, and then I will go to the plate. And so these guys are not so much like that. They like the snow, but Riley has a jacket and they like the feels of certain things too. Yeah. So they have like certain textures that they like. So I bought her a jacket with it, and it's this cute little it's because her color she's like got orange is usually what she wears.
Yeah.
This like Southwest decoration on it, and it's
cute.
So cute in it too. I'll get it. We'll start posting pictures of our dogs on our thingy. And
we will. We'll post them on.
I don't know why we haven't thought of this sooner.
Yeah, we'll post them to our Instagram and to our Blue Sky.
Because we talk about them all the time. Or
we might as well start posting pictures of them. We'll start posting them.
Sports balls and pet talk. We're killing it today.
We are killing it today. All right, and I did see Fernando ask a question, and I will definitely get back to that once we get to that portion when we talk about, which will probably be fairly soon. But I did see your question, and I will ask about that or give a response to that. All right, so obviously wrestling was very busy, as I put on our thing, was a free agent frenzy the last few weeks. It's just constant. Things happening this week. So Wednesday night, following the Collision tapings, came out Powerhouse Hobbs contract was up at midnight. So this news came out at like 10 p.m. Eastern time. So within 2 hours, Powerhouse Hobbs was no longer going to be with AEW. And so apparently he is he is WWE bound. They have been trying to get him for a while. The last time they tried to get him, he re-signed with AEW. And let me see if I have the select still here. The contract negotiations were ongoing between both sides. AEW reportedly offered him a substantial amount of money to stay, but then he came to them and said, he wanted to try his hand over at WWE. And it says that he, because his contract has ended, he could show up basically at any time. Some people thought maybe he'd show up to SmackDown, but if he did that, he'd have to hop on a plane and fly to London because SmackDown was at Wembley Stadium on Friday night, and they're ending their European tour tomorrow. They're in Belfast. My guess is I would think with the Royal Rumble being on the 31st, that might be where he shows up. Apparently he is main roster bound. He will not be going to NXT.
He has their look.
Yeah. And it says, Yeah, this is pretty much the same information. It says there have been some rumors bubbling under a few months ago that he could be headed to WWE, but there had not been contact at the point when those rumors originally started. And it says there was interest a few years ago in Hobbs going to WWE when Dan Ventrell was heading up talent relations, but Hobbs stayed with AEW, which is funny because Wednesday night, Samoa Joe opens up and he's talking about how he wants to defend the trios titles. And I was like, oh, it's about time. We were just talking about, like, we talked about this like last week about how the trios titles like never get defended. And I looked it up on Cage Match. They had not defended those titles since like November the 5th or something like that. It was like early November was the last time. And I was like, and I posted on Blue Sky. I was like, oh, wow, the Ops remembered they have titles to defend. And then this news came out and I said, oh, that's why they wanted to defend those titles. And so they, obviously, if you watched Collision last night, they defended the titles against Jet Speed and Hangman Page because Hangman told Samoa Joe on Wednesday night that he was coming for everything. He was going to destroy him, and he was starting with the trios titles, and he has kept his promise thus far. And Kevin Knight was the one who he did pin Powerhouse Hobbs in that match, and Kevin Knight Swerve had talked to him beforehand and said that he thinks he's the future, and Kevin said, no, the future is right now. And he said, well, why don't you go do something and do something big and prove it to me? And Swerve came out afterwards and Kevin held up the title like, I did it, now what? And so now they have the match on Wednesday night. And then it was announced after the show last night, Tony Khan announced that Samoa Joe would be taking on Speedball. Then he replied to himself with a gif of a meme of of Nagata. It says, this is exactly why I can never walk away from this sport. So Tony responded to his own tweet last night. It was great. It was really funny, which is also like, I'm here for Samoa Joe and Speedball. So I was like, does Hangman is he getting a singles match as well? Because, was he in the tag match? No, because Swerve was wrestling. So I don't know if Hangman has a match yet.
No, yeah, I don't think.
So, yeah. So what are your thoughts on Hobbs leaving and about our new trios champions?
I mean, I'm happy about the trios thing because I think those three are awesome. I mean, it's a heck of a way to bring it back, but as soon as you saw what was happening, you were like, oh, that's why they're defending them. And of course, you just followed the story that way. I don't know what they're going to do with Samoa Joe right now, whatever, but that's okay because Samoa Joe can pretty much do anything he wants to. And it was time to maybe.
Well, and he still kind of is in the title, the AEW Men's World Championship title. I mean, picture. So that frees him up, I guess.
I mean, him and Shibata and Hook is fine. Like it's nice that they.
That was my question. Like, first of all, like I don't hate Hangman and Jet Speed, but then I was like, why didn't they basically just freebird it in and let Hook take Hobbs' place? Hook was the original member. Why didn't they just put the title? Let Hook step in and then he would have.
Yeah, I even had a moment where I was like, what? Maybe Hook redeems himself here because he messed with Hangman's thing and like gets back in with the Ops and they have some other like weird. But I mean, obviously you had to get it off Hobbs because he's going away. So duh. Yeah. I can't say that I'm shocked. I mean, if you're in the position where you're getting offered a certain amount of money and a certain amount of opportunity, and if his plan, I mean, they don't usually forego, obviously, this stuff about like going to the PC and all the crap that they want because they want to make sure you're indoctrinated with their system, their cult format, whatever. But if they're just going to bring him in, I mean, the Royal Rumble makes all the sense in the world to me. Chris Jericho hasn't come back yet, right?
No, he's not.
Do you think that's going to be on there's a pay-per-view today, right? Or was
no, there's not a pay-per-view. No. Their Saturday night's main event is coming up, and then Royal Rumble is live from Saudi Arabia. So
yeah, it would not shock me to see either of those.
Going on tour in February, so I don't know if Jericho comes after. He's going on a European tour for the month of February, so I don't know if he comes back because he could come back in March and still be in time for Mania season.
Mania, you're right. Because he's got that February. Is that how long? It's February and March is his tour, and then
no, it's just February. He's doing a UK tour, and that's it. It's just for the month of February.
So it's just
February? I don't think he would debut at the Rumble, go tour with Fozzy in Europe for a month, and then come back.
Don't they have Elimination Chamber in between there or something like that? So what does it go?
Elimination Chamber is Elimination Chamber. But see, it depends on when that is, because if Elimination Chamber is during his tour, then it won't be then either.
So it would just be Mania.
Maybe coming leading up to Mania. Like, hang on, let me look and see when Elimination Chamber is, because I don't remember.
I mean, Hobbs is probably they're going to put him on the main
Elimination Chamber is February 28th. Oh, maybe, because if Fozzy's tour is over before February 28th, but I don't know that Elimination Chamber is not a big pay-per-view. Like, they don't do title changes there or anything like that. So like, it's not a major pay-per-view. So I don't know, but he could come sometime in March.
Unless they're going to use him for TNA, I guess.
Lead him. I mean, we'll get to
TNA stuff in a minute. That's a whole
TNA,
subject.
We're going to have a discussion about TNA, but
we're going to need a segment for TNA today.
We need a segment for TNA, but I will say this: TNA after the episode they had on Thursday, if they want to get a pop or a buzz back, they're going to have to bring in Jericho because unless you're a TNA diehard or you're Mike Gilbert,
the impression that I got from Thursday, when you and Nikki were saying that was the best thing about Thursday, and that was largely the reacts I didn't watch, obviously, but even someone I didn't expect in my friend group watched, and I think it was a Schadenfreude moment, but I was like, oh, Dixie Carter really came back? I thought that was a meme. It was like,
they just brought her out there for a minute. They made her hug Bully Ray, but we're having a whole segment.
But anyway, the point
we'll talk about it. But yes. Anyway, but as far as going back to Hobbs,
all the way back to Hobbs, the idea to me is I'm not shocked. I don't know if Tony's ever used Hobbs the way that necessarily Hobbs believes he should be used. I don't know that he's going to get that in WWE.
Like, I think that people have got to stop using the word fumble when it comes to how wrestling talent is handled, because I saw some of that this weekend. Powerhouse was not fumbled by AEW. AEW did a lot for him. Could he have probably been bigger? Yeah. I mean, there's definitely things. Did they make missteps with him? Absolutely. But I think that they made him, I mean, he was the champion. Yes, it was the trios, and you can, argue about that just being, the trios titles aren't really defended, which sure, you can make that argument, but he was the champion. I think that Hobbs was used fairly well. I would have liked to have seen some more with him. I've been a fan of Powerhouse Hobbs since I first saw him. I'm happy for him. I hope he does well in WWE. I hope that, of course I always hope the best for him, but I don't trust the way WWE books at all. But they also, on the other hand, they did just bring up Javon Evans. They brought up Trick Williams, and they're bringing up Obafemi, and Obafemi is one of the best talents they've got. So so Triple H or Paul Levesque has famously a year or so ago, when asked about why there are not a lot of black men featured, black talent, specifically black men featured on WWE programming on Raw and SmackDown, his response, of course, was the whitest response ever. I don't see color, which of course went over great. And that gets brought up a lot still. I don't see color. So reportedly, because they're doing tryouts, and they're apparently going to do more tryouts. One of the things has been that they are specifically looking at black talent to help Paul Levesque beat the allegations of he doesn't see color. It is interesting that 3 of the wrestlers they just called up are all black men. Powerhouse Hobbs, clearly a black man.
So he's basically trying to come off as not a racist, is what you're telling me. I mean, not you.
That's how it reads in some.
I mean, when someone says, listen, I'm white, so I can say this with confidence. When somebody says, as a white person, I don't see color, that is pretty much a red flag for I'm pretty much a racist, or I am just straight up a racist, in my personal opinion, based on the behavior I've seen from human beings over 40 plus years. That's where I'm at with that.
Right.
So when I hear something like that, that's like when someone says all lives matter.
Right. Exactly.
That's the response.
Which a new member of the Rascalz said.
Oh, goody. Okay.
Yeah. That's why we'll get to the Rascalz part of this.
That's part of that too.
We'll get to that part, but yes, one of them said that.
I didn't think about that, but that's not
Zachary Wentz who said it.
That doesn't. Yeah.
So I don't know. I hope that Hobbs. I hope he does well. I like him.
Me too.
He doesn't. I'm glad that I got to see him at the Greensboro show. He wrestled Hangman. At that show for the Blood and Guts show. It sounds like Hobbs left on really good terms. He just came to, and I think that was another reason, because going back to why Jet Speed and Hangman, first of all, I think it is, it's because he wanted to, I guess, make it up to the fans that we were losing Hobbs, and so you put it on three of your biggest baby faces. Jet Speed have become huge fan favorites. They probably won't be in the tag title picture anytime soon. As far as getting titles, it's probably going to be a while. So I felt this was kind of like, we see you, we appreciate you, you're very good, let's put the trios titles on you. And I also feel like, because it's, from what it sounds like, Hobbs and AEW were negotiating basically the last, very close. So I don't know if he was, because Nikki made the point, he was like, why didn't they put the trios titles on the Bang Bang Gang? Like, where is Ace Austin? Why hasn't, we're not seeing him as much. You could have done it on him. But I'm wondering if Hobbs maybe came to him like Monday or Tuesday and was like, you know what? I'm going to just see my contract out. I'm going to go to WWE. And so Tony was looking like, okay, well, who is here that I can put these trios titles on? Bang Bang Gang's not here. Jet Speed is here. Let's add Hangman to this. Like, I don't know if it was kind of that type of thing where he was just like, who is here that we can do this really quickly and the fans will be happy with, even though, again, you could have just inserted Hook there and just kind of freebird it in, because Hook was on, which I thought was really funny. Hook was on commentary, but he didn't speak at all, and they said it was because of his neck injury that he couldn't talk. Which I thought was really funny. And so, yeah. But yeah, so I think it's fine for what they did. I'm really happy for Jet Speed having titles. That shows you that Hangman will do whatever is asked of him. He is, a company man. He will do whatever it takes to and I like him with them, and they did show that they have a little bit of history. They wrestled way back in August together. I guess it works with Hangman's story of I'm taking everything from Samoa Joe and I'm starting with the trios title. So that made sense storyline wise. Jet Speed are super over. They're putting both, you have Hangman and Swerve telling them that, you are the future. You've got them putting them over. A lot of people were upset that Jet Speed didn't beat the Hurt Syndicate to win those titles a few months ago. So I think it's kind of a win-win for everybody for it sounds like it was a kind of a last-minute situation because it sounds like Hobbs and Hobbs and AEW did try to negotiate, up until maybe the last minute or the last few days. They did what they had to do. Is this going to be a long title reign? I don't know. Is this going to be a thing where we barely defend these titles, which is common for the Trios Championship? Often don't get, they're like the one title that like never gets defended. So is it going to be more of that? Most likely. Like, I'm not expecting, but you do have Hangman being one of those champions, and you can't not have Hangman. Unless they keep doing, we see them, they're already doing singles matches on Dynamite because Samoa Joe and Speedball is happening on Dynamite. So is Kevin, and Swerve is happening on Dynamite as well because they're in Orlando. So I think that hopefully we'll see some more title defenses with them. And I think Hangman is not that, because Jet Speed, obviously, Speedball's been around for a really long time and he's a veteran, and obviously Kevin is a bit newer, but I think they can obviously learn from somebody like a Hangman Page, and I think the three of them will be a lot of
yeah.
fun. The fans love them. I think it's a really good thing, and yeah, and I agree. Yeah, Jet Speed, definitely. They are so talented to get together and separately. Like, I was a huge fan of both of them before, like pre-AEW. I was a huge fan of Speedball. I was really big fan of
Kevin
Knight.
I mean, Kevin Knight, we both loved it. New Japan. He was on New Japan. He was great.
Yes. And so, and then of course, like, they had an incredible C2. They're both they've wrestled in BOSJ, both of them before, so they're very familiar with tournament type of stuff. And so I think, Speedball is capable of matches this year, and Knight is one of the best athletes in the industry. Jordan, I'm 100% with you on that. And I did see your comment. I was going to read it before, where you were talking about thanking us for the New Japan content, for our channel, the New Japan content. So thank you. Thank you for that. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yes, I am gonna miss so much.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
I was thinking about that.
We were all trying. We were, as we do, because we're nerds. We were trying to come up with what his WWE name was gonna be on the after portion of Jim Valley's show yesterday. So we were having a lot of fun pretending.
It may just be Hobbs.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, it
sounds about right.
I mean, that's like what you could just call him Powerhouse, even though not that AEW owns Powerhouse, but that's where the name came from. So I don't know that he'll do that. I think I wouldn't be surprised if he's just Hobbs there. Because since that's his real name. Michael, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, I would. I would agree with you. Definitely a missed opportunity between Hobbs and the Hurt Syndicate, or versus the Hurt Syndicate, rather. That would be some
hard agree.
Some big
Thank you very much.
Well, Shelton's still he's not as tall as Bobby Lashley, but he's still a big man, so that would still be some big meaty meat happening there. But Michael,
meat.
Hopefully, well, I was gonna say maybe that's still on the table, but I don't know how long Hobbs' deal is, and I know that Bobby and Shelton are on as great of shape as they're in. I know they're on the back end of their careers, so who knows? Maybe maybe something that can eventually come to fruition, or because there's no details on Hobbs because Hobbs is not officially WWE yet, so we don't know anything about. Is this a 3-year deal, 5-year deal? But I agree with you, Michael. You're right about that. Crash said his name will be JC Hobbs.
We talked about it, yesterday. JC Hobbs.
Oh gosh.
We talked about it yesterday. It was fun.
So then,
go.
So the other thing that happened on Wednesday. So I don't know if Sean Ross Sapp was just sending stuff up as he was writing them, but a friend of mine is subscribed and will send things to our Slack channel about things, and so he says, "Crash bigger than Jeff Cobbs and Jesus."
Now you gotta watch out with that, because the Beatles kind of F themselves on that sort of thing.
So
people did not appreciate when John Lennon said that back.
They did not. So when the slide comes out and it says the Rascalz are all elite, they've debuted for AEW, and I said, when did they debut for AEW? They're not on this show. Like, what is? Did he send that too early? Did he mean to schedule that and send it out? And so, he sent it out too early, and then I don't know, maybe 30 minutes or so later, they just put up a graphic that says the Rascalz are coming. And Nikki was like, "Oh my gosh." And I was like, "Yeah, I knew it was happening, but I didn't say anything because I thought they were still I was like, oh, maybe they're appearing on the show." So I didn't say anything to her. I didn't tell the group chat yet. And then I think Sean Ross Sapp, tweeted something about the Rascalz. So I sent the selectful. And so it says that, the group has been signed since the first week of January at the latest, with the group signing multi-year deals and leaving TNA. There was an effort on TNA's part to retain them, but AEW came in with a better offer. Myron Reed was originally planned to face Leon Slater on Thursday on the debut episode of Impact, which we'll get into all of that. It was communicated to them that Myron would have happily just worked that match and that would have been it. But TNA pulled the match instead. So that freed them up, which is why Nikki and I talked about it. I was like, I bet that's why Jake Doyle debuted last week, because they knew the Rascalz were going to debut this week. And since they were both TNA, they were all TNA wrestlers, that they split it up. This says that both Myron Reed and Dezmond Xavier were never under TNA contract, because Dezmond Xavier is the former Wesley who was in NXT, and he came over after he was released. Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz's deals expired at the end of 2025. There was at least one member of the group who was determined to leave TNA, but they all felt like they left on good terms. It has since come out that Tony Khan really wanted Myron Reed with the Rascalz, which I am glad about. For me, Myron Reed is probably the best of the four. So I'm really glad that he's coming over in this group. So then Saturday night we get so last night during Collision we got the little backstage segment, which if you watch TNA during when the Rascalz were there the first time around, and then even the second time around, their thing was that they would smoke pot in their treehouse, and they would cut promos. And sometimes they'd bring in other wrestlers. They'd all smoke together, and that was their bit. So they have found a way for that to carry over. Last night, Lexi Nair went and knocked on their door, and there were it was really hazy. 3 of the 4 members were there. We've seen a couple of people ask about this. Where is Trey Miguel?
I've heard it all over. I have no idea. I don't know the answer.
I have not heard anything. Yeah, as far as from what this sounds like, all 4 members are under contract. So I don't know if if it was a scheduling conflict, if something happened, if he had a personal reasons he wasn't there, if it was like a flight thing. I have
one of those "Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego" memes,
right?
Because that has been the number one question I've seen on socials, like in our Discord. It's all over.
Yeah, everyone's so I have not heard anything.
I have no idea.
Funny because also somebody in our group chat has also asked, where's Trey Miguel?
Where's Trey Miguel?
And so I have not heard anything. I have not seen anything.
I don't know anything.
As of 2 p.m. on Sunday afternoon, there is no word that I have seen.
Not that I have.
Since we've been on the air, perhaps it has come out, but I have not seen anything about where Trey Miguel is.
And I wouldn't tell you guys anyway. No, I'm just kidding.
Nope. I have mixed feelings about the Rascalz because I was a really big fan of this. I saw Wentz and Dezmond Xavier in PWX way before they ever got signed, when they were Scarlet and Graves. Way back with watching those dudes, was a fan for them for a long time. Some of them have said and done some very questionable things. Zachary Wentz got fired from WWE because he posted a picture where he was making a reference to Adolf Hitler, and that was because he had a picture of it. There was I'm not getting into the whole thing with his ex-partner, his ex-wife. That's a whole
that's a ball.
So that's
crazy.
A whole mess of things. But that's why he was released from WWE, was because of the Hitler thing. Because he was shaving his mustache and left a tiny little piece, and he took a picture of it, and it became public. And so WWE fired him for it. Trey Miguel Trey Miguel is the one who has said all lives matter. He also, we've talked about it on the show before. He is a few years ago, was it pre-speaking out or right around speaking out? He threatened to release revenge porn of David Starr. David Starr is a terrible person. He's the whole reason.
That's right. He was like the beginning of that.
You don't get to, just because he's a horrible person, you don't get to. He threatened to release revenge porn against David Starr. So again, these people are, the two of them are quite questionable for me anyway. But that was just like the revenge porn is just disgusting. No matter who's involved, David Starr is an awful human being.
But it doesn't matter.
That's still not a thing.
Okay, so Bob just sent me a thing that says that Trey Miguel was absent from the initial debut in AEW due to reported hernia, according to Wrestling Observer newsletter.
Oh no.
So, well, I don't know. I mean, that's what, he clearly, obviously, is just like Nikki is over there doing a producer due diligence stuff for us. Right. But that's what he sent to me. So that is the answer that we have so far. So maybe that's the reason it was injury.
Right.
So that, which would, I mean, if that's an injury, that makes total sense, because that means that.
And if it's something that could have been something that came up, just training and working out could have, aggravated something. So it sounds like Trey is still involved. I don't know if it was ever specified exactly what it was. If I remember correctly, it sounded like he had access to something featuring David Starr. I don't know that he was necessarily in those videos. Trey was in those videos. I believe he had access to something, and he threatened to release it. And it was a whole big thing. And that's part of the reason, if I'm not mistaken, that was why WWE originally only signed Wentz and Dezmond Xavier, is because of that. Because it was well documented all over the internet.
This is the thing,
that's why Trey was never in WWE, was because of that threat.
So back when we were in Ireland, when we went to that show in Ireland, Princess Kimberly actually wrestled at that event, and I bought a shirt and from her that I love. I still have it. It's great. It's a Suplex Kingdom. It's super cute. So later on that year, when I got back to Michigan, we started going to indie shows. My first indie show that I went to, I wore that shirt, and Zach Wentz was at the show, and I was in the lounge area, and he was like, "Hey, nice shirt."
Right.
Because obviously that was the situation at the time. And so we sat down, and I was chit-chatting with him. I mean, nothing had been accused. There were no accusations. They were together. They were dating at the time. I didn't know, because I was still new to that scene. So it was like, I want to, get a selfie, and it was really cool. And I sat and chatted with him and got to see him and Myron Reed wrestle that night. And they were around the hall a bunch, because they came back around through Evolve a lot. And so then when all of that stuff started breaking with the situation with them, and I was like, oh dear. And then she had a lot of issues after that. But when they signed him, I was like, did they not see what went on? And then I was like, oh wait, it's WWE. They don't care. And so I kind of let it roll on, I guess. But here we are now. And I was like, is that going to cause any issues with folks? Because I know what
at
least as far as Wentz is concerned, because again, I was following them on Twitter, because at the time there was an amicable relationship there, and that was some of my early exposure to indies around here.
Yeah, apparently I guess it's not an issue. It doesn't seem to be. I think a lot of people have forgotten about the stuff with Trey Miguel, both the All Lives Matter comment and the threatening.
Well, that sort of stuff. I mean, that's
revenge porn. So I think,
those things are all character reveals. So.
Right. And then I guess Dezmond has pretty much escaped things. His wife was when the stuff with Kimberly and Wentz was happening, she was very vocal on Twitter. Dezmond Xavier's wife was basically supporting Wentz, saying not great things about Kimberly. And so I think Dezmond didn't say anything because he was with WWE and he was trying to be careful to not say anything. I don't know. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that he agrees with the things she was saying, but
I would both sides of that. From what I saw, from a totally personal thing, from what I saw was that whole situation, those two people that both needed a lot of professional intervention that probably should not have been seeing each other, because they're inner people were not being taken care of to begin
Right.
with, so that was not a good scenario for either
Right.
party. Because
But
even
yeah,
after the fact, she kind of had a meltdown too,
Right.
and I was like,
he's had a lot of mental health.
I feel bad because I'm
struggles.
like, not bad, but I always hope that people in those situations, as someone who has their own situation, find help, find peace, find the right professionals so that they don't end up continuing to do that kind of thing, because it hurts you at the end.
Right.
And so, but that whole, I mean, that's out there. Those things are there for people to see. They're very, I mean, the first, when I saw the Rascalz, that's when, in my brain, because I've known the whole situation, I went, ooh, is that going to cause, am I the only person that's got red flags right here, or is that going to send up red flags for others?
I think it's both yes and no. I think clearly some of us still, we remember because we saw it all play out. I was following all of that. So we all,
you wrote about
we
it.
We all saw that play out, or a lot of us did who were heavy on the internet. Some people feel like, Wentz was treated unfairly because the picture only came out because Kimberly is the one who put it out there, and had they not had the situation they were having, that picture would have never come out. But he also still did that act. The picture exists because he took it. So
the whole thing was such a disaster.
So I think some people have moved on from it. They think he paid his penance by being released from WWE. Which, that's not for me to say, but I think that's where, as far as like the fan, I think that's where some people see it as like, so maybe they don't have, an issue with it, or not any, or they don't have an issue any longer. I would say, like, maybe they feel like, okay, well, he did this thing. It cost him his job. He's paid for it. Let's move on, type of thing. I think a lot of people just don't remember the stuff about Trey Miguel necessarily. As far as I know, there's no issues with Dezmond Xavier. And then Myron Reed, I have never heard anything about as far as being questionable or anything like that. Again, I would say I'm really happy for him. I really like Myron Reed's work.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to Brad's comment here that he's really happy for Myron, the one member who never had a contract, always busted his butt. Good dude. He's earned this one. I'd love to see Killer Kelly join him. Nikki and I have talked about that too.
That'd be great.
Killer Kelly gave birth, I think less than a year. I think it's only been like 8 months ago. She has still been doing stuff in Wrestling Revolver as far as like kind of a managing type deal, but she's clearly, obviously not clear to wrestle. Her contract did also end with TNA, I think either at the end of December or earlier this year. So she is no longer under contract. So they could potentially bring her in. If she's wrestling, I'd love to see them bring in Killer Kelly. I really like her. I really enjoy her work. I would love to see her in the women's division if that's something that comes to pass with them. Yes, we are discussing the Rascalz.
Yes.
Yeah, that's who we are talking about here. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Hopefully things work out. Hopefully people have grown up. Hopefully nothing.
Hopefully working at a diverse.
Nothing has happened like post WWE. Like as far as I know, they've hopefully grown up and matured. I haven't heard anything for a while. Oh wow, this is really interesting. We have two people in a row saying the same thing. I had not heard this. Brad says he saw someone bring up the idea that Killer Kelly is the one sending Mina the flowers. Tony and Mina need a third in their feud with Mega Penelope Powers. She'd be perfect. LaRon says, could Killer Kelly be the one who sent Mina the flowers? I had not even considered that, but that would kind of be on brand for the Killer Kelly character that we saw in TNA, especially when she was doing the stuff, because she used to be with they were doing MK Ultra. She was tag team partners with Masha. So yeah, but Killer, yeah, man, I really like that theory. I had not even considered, because I hadn't really thought about who was the one to send Mina flowers, but Killer Kelly would be a lot of fun.
That would be a lot of fun.
I like that.
I would not be sad about that.
Yeah, I like that. That'll be really interesting because, I don't know where she is on her, because obviously everybody is different when it comes to coming back to the ring following birth. So maybe she would just be an on-screen character for a bit. I don't know. My Killer Kelly and Tony Storm would be illegal.
She's not wrong. That'd be kind of great. It would be out of control.
Tony was, almost
she was killing me
on the mic, but she was cracking me up last night.
She is amazing. Every single week she comes up with something to like top her own self.
She does. And then Marina's reaction was just like, how do I even respond to that?
How do I respond to what she just said to me?
Yes, jealous Mina is funny.
She is. She's adorable.
Yes, and then having jealous Tony if somebody is sending her flowers.
I like a lot of what's going on here. I can't complain. Tony Storm is she's great. She's so great.
She is great. And I'm glad they're finding a way. I'm so glad that Penelope is cleared. There was a possibility she was going to have surgery, but they were trying to see if it could heal on its own. She was injured back in October. Last night, she didn't do a whole lot. So she's clearly still working her way back in. Megan did she did a brunt of the work for that match. I have to go back and time it, but that match was well under 3 minutes. It was maybe even 2, but she got to do the Doomsday device. She got the pin and got the win. So I feel, and then I think it was Megan or Marina, because Marina came out there. So Marina's still kind of in this loop of what's happening with them. And she came and celebrated, and they lifted Penelope's arm in the air, and Penelope said, kind of said, ow, and like pulled her arm down. So she's clearly still like selling that, or at least a little tender. So we may see more of that where Megan does like the brunt of the work, and then she lets Penelope get in like a thing or two. And so we do have a match with them on Wednesday with Penelope and Megan versus the Timeless Love Bombs. I am still going with Brad says he wonders if Love Bombs versus Megan and Penelope turns into a number 1 contender match and they put the titles on them. I still think, yes, Nikki and I think this too, that Megan and Penelope were going to be the first champs. It was not going to be Babes of Wrath. That's very clear from the fact that Willow won the TBS championship, and that was the plan. I still feel like Tony or Timeless Love Bombs win the tag titles at Grand Slam Australia.
Yeah, I think after you said that to me, I
feel like that's where they're going with it. I could be wrong. Maybe because Megan and Penelope were I guess it depends on how well Penelope can compete. But if that was the original plan, maybe that is what they do. Maybe this is turning into a number 1 contendership, and then Megan and Penelope will end up getting the titles that were, I don't want to say owed to them, but that they were originally intended to win. At least that's my opinion. Of course, there's no confirmation of that. I feel like Megan and Penelope is where they were going with this.
Yeah.
But my guess was that they were going to belt Tony in Australia. But then on the other hand, Harley is also from Australia, so you could have her retained, but I don't think they're going to, because they have got to get, as much as I love Willow and she deserves 2 titles, they have got to get that title. We've got to build up those tag team titles.
Well, that's it right there. And
we have to build them up and make them, you can't have them tied up. With that, Megan needs something. It's long overdue for them to have Megan doing something.
Agree.
So now that I do think they were waiting on Penelope, and now that Penelope is cleared, they can move forward with that, I think. But Laurent says something needs to happen because nothing of substance is happening with any of the women's titles at the moment. There's very little to be excited about. I think there is in the tag division. I think we're getting Chris versus Tekla, whether that's at Grand Slam or Revolution remains to be seen. But there's nobody coming after the TBS championship, which was the problem when Mercedes had it. Nobody was really coming after it, which is why they have got to get the tag title off of Willow.
Yeah,
so that we can start building up challenges for the TBS title, and that we can build this tag team division properly. I think that they need
I don't like the split belt situation. I don't like, because like the first thing we talked about with the tag belts was that they had to make sure that they were unique and that they could stand alone. And then immediately they like gave the TBS title to Willow. And this week, my only complaint this week was, we asked how we were going to get all the women's tag team titles on Dynamite, since we could only book 1 or 2 women's matches tops. Well, all they did was put them all in the same match. And that
that is a problem.
I'm not going to lie, Sam. When I was sitting there, I was like, Sam's asked how they were going to get all these titles on the thingy, and we're watching a match with all the titles in one match.
Right. Which is on brand for Tony Khan.
And so it gave me a little bit of the cringies. I'm not gonna lie. I was like,
yeah. So we've got.
I mentioned it in our Discord, and some people were like, "Yeah, seriously, what's up with this?"
Yeah, so there's definitely some issues there, and they've got to fix it. And I think they will. I think when Grand Slam Australia, I definitely think tag title change is coming there. Whether it's Timeless Love Bonds or maybe Megan and Penelope, I think there is something in the hair that happens.
I hope so, just because then they can spread it out.
They've got to have people challenging for that damn TBS title. Why is that title no? I mean, the WWE is having the exact same problem. Their focus is on the tag titles, and all the women are focused on the tag titles. They're not focused on either of the big belts. There's not really a whole lot of people clamoring for those, or even the mid-card titles, which I said back when they introduced them. I was like, they're not going to care about these titles, and I was right. There's not enough women in either division on Raw and SmackDown to have them fight for both the tag titles and the other 2 titles. They've got Candice LeRae is too busy being in Johnny Gargano's business. Zelina is too busy being in Aleister Black's business. So there's 2 women right there that they could use. They're not competing. Jade has been champion for 2 months and has yet to defend her title. She was supposed to do it, defend it against Mia Yim. Mia Yim got hurt at a house show, and I'm like, you couldn't find any other woman. They did call up Jordan Grace. She seems to be in that title picture, at least. It doesn't sound like Bianca is going to be cleared anytime soon, and that women's division misses her desperately. They've got Rhea and Io Sky are the current tag team champions, and so that's where their focus is. So there's not enough women, and so this is a problem in both major companies where we struggle with booking the women. It's a problem I see on both brands. And so it's unfortunate that this is still a concern. And then I'm behind on ROH because I don't have the subscription anymore. I do have access to it. I just haven't had a chance to catch up. So I'm not 100% of what's happening in the women's division there, but that was the same problem. They've got 3 titles down there in ROH and not enough women. They need more women, which I was glad to see they signed Zeta Steel. But Zeta was on Collision last night, so I don't know if she's going to be doing both. They did show Lacey. Lacey Lane is now with. I keep wanting to say Top Flight. It's not Top Flight. It's why am I blanking? We just saw it last night.
Oh,
in the backstage segment. Why am I blanking? I can see her.
Which group?
That's what I'm trying to remember. She was. Thank you. The crew.
The new group.
It was the crew.
The crew. Oh, okay.
I can see Lacey, but I can't remember who she was talking to. My brain was like, thank you. So there's that too. So
it should be better, but
it's a struggle in both companies, and they need to sign more women and build up these divisions and then book them, which again is what I go back to with the C2. I want a women's C2, but not a here dam. If it's a here dam, I don't want it. I want you to put as much effort into the women's C2 as you put into the men's C2. So
make them wrestle. I want to see it. Let's effing go.
Right. LaRon says they're also repeating tropes. They keep pitting women's champions to set up title matches. They've done it 3 times in a row now. Willow lost, then Mercedes lost, and now Chris. They've got to back away from that too. And they've got to, there's a lot of things they could be doing, which is why I said last week, let RJ City help out with a women's division.
There you go.
Let him help.
Oh my gosh. Last night though, when John Moxley said that he had experience dealing with difficult women with his wife in the backstage area on the commentary, that popped both me and my husband. He was like, because we were both I hope Renee just heard that. I know it was meant for Marina, but when he said it,
he said
his wife in the back.
3 women, his wife, his mother, and his sister.
And he has a daughter.
And probably Marina.
And he has a daughter.
Yes, he does have a daughter. I freaking love John Moxley on commentary, but he is so distracting when I'm trying to do collision coverage because I'm like, John, stop making me laugh. I'm trying to watch what's happening. Like, we had to keep rewinding stuff last night because I couldn't stop laughing at John. I was like, because Zeta still got like, she just came in hot on Marina and was just like she was not letting up. And then Marina, of course, finally got in her offense. John stands up, pulls the mic down, but you can still hear him. And he's like, yeah, he was like, light her up for what she did. Then he was like just yelling at her. And then you see them both like flex their arms at each other, their muscles at each other. Like, it's so great. I loved, and John Moxley
and Marina Shafir are like the world's bestest besties. They seem like besties at this point. Like they're legitimately like hilariously bestie. And he like when he said that, I was like, I'm not gonna recover from that. That's too much. He's got Marina right here, and he's saying that like with his beautiful back.
Yeah, he's talking about like John Moxley a few weeks ago was talking about how like he felt that in his nipple. Like I'm like, John, please stop. I can't stop laughing. I mean, sometimes Nigel will get me and sometimes Tony will get me too, but it's almost always John.
Mox is like, and I'm like, him and Bryan Danielson are pretty good on, but Moxley specifically.
The segment with Mox and Don Callis was brilliant. That was really good. And then you have Mox get jumped by Lance Archer and Rocky Romero, and then you have Claudio appear out of nowhere and just uppercut somebody, which is generally just what he just appears out of nowhere to do that. So
I mean, that's Claudio's job.
It is.
I wish that I had like a thing that could call Claudio and just have him uppercut somebody like when I needed it, like a daily, like a gaming thing where it's like your daily power where you like once a day you get Claudio Castagnoli to come out and just uppercut somebody for you in your life.
I would love that option.
That'd be amazing.
That would be. He said, "What was the line?" Don said, "You call it that, but I call it success." Yeah, I can't remember exactly what something along those lines. They were like going because he was talking because Moxley was basically saying he doesn't know what Don Callis family is. He's like, they're on your payroll.
They're
like,
just a whole bunch of guys.
Yeah, and he was like, you call it a family. And then John cuts the promo afterwards, talking about family and like and Daniel Garcia jumps in and like, you call that a family? He was like, a family stands up for you when when everybody hates you, talking about Yuta. And he's talking about how people didn't like he felt like that promo I thought was really good. Like I really enjoyed that segment. So it sounds like the Death Riders aren't breaking up anytime soon. So people who keep fantasy booking, you're going to have to stop because I don't think
I think that they very clearly started a feud and they were very clearly putting over that they were feuding now. I mean, they were saying it on commentary.
Said a few months ago when he was on this very show, he was like, people think it's coming to an end. And he was like, but John Moxley operates differently. Like he's 2 steps ahead of everybody. The story's not ending anytime soon, and he has been correct thus far.
Yeah.
So, it's really, Pac is brilliant.
Pac is great.
He's so good.
He's killing me too. That whole group is actually pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, Pac did have one line, but it was pure Pac. Daniel Garcia was not laughing because he almost always breaks Daniel Garcia.
Always.
Yeah, Don Callis is this is Don Callis' family is more akin to Italian mobster family.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, it definitely has that that mafia vibe.
I want to go back up here to LeBron's comment. He said he's okay with RJ City helping if it's going to be sports-based, but I'm over all the sports entertainment stuff they're doing in the women's division. There needs to be balance. I mean, more of, and I agree with you, it definitely needs to be more sports-based. But because of the attention to detail that he has paid in the Tony Storm story, and I don't know if he still is, but in the early part of the Death Rider story, RJ was involved at the very beginning before it turned into, some of the other stuff. But he was, at one point, was involved with some of the Death Rider stuff. So I think maybe he could rein it in a bit when it comes to the storytelling aspect of it. But they have got to figure out the sports-based part of it, and Tony Khan is not doing that, so somebody else is going to have to do that. I thought that I really enjoyed Danny's part last night because I know we've talked about that on this very show. about how like he has struggled to fit in, and working with Chris Jericho, I don't want to say ruined him, but it has made it a lot more difficult for him.
It delayed him in where he's getting
right.
It delayed his progress, probably. Right. It wasn't like it happened the way it happened, and he probably seems like he's learned from it. It probably delayed his progress. But yesterday, like last night, he's definitely leveling up. That was a very cool promo that he cut last night where I was like, ooh, he's really starting to find himself.
Yeah, and I think part of it, for whatever reason, for some people, Garcia has not been able to connect with the fans in the way that, that others have been able to. And I think it's unfortunate because Daniel Garcia is a very good wrestler, and I enjoyed him as TNT champion. He was having banger matches, which is what you do with the TNT title. Like that TNT title is the workhorse title. Like you go out there and have banger matches, and that's what he was doing. And some of it got lost in some of the convolution that they were doing. And I like him with the Death Riders. I'm hoping they can figure it out with him. Yes, 100%.
Yes. No lies detected. That's exactly it. I think that this is way better, and
then like even you have Yuta, who yes, of course the fans like hate him. You will never make me hate Wheeler Yuta. Like nothing.
Oh no, but for me, it's love. It's the love kind of hate. It's the right kind of hate.
I love Wheeler Yuta. I will never.
I love hating him. I love loving him. I love that you and I were on to him first.
Yeah, he's really taken to this character. I'd like to see some more character stuff with him, but I think he's a very good wrestler. I really enjoy him with, like he and Marina have wrestled together in ROH some. He and Daniel are a solid tag team, even though I know, because Brad has talked about this before, and so have others, that when they were on the indies, Daniel Garcia and Wheeler Yuta were constantly feuding with each other. They were rivals, and now they're a tag. Well, they wrestle as a tag team often, and they're on the same team, and so that's definitely a thing. But I really enjoy both Yuta and Garcia and the Death Riders, and so I hope that they'll continue. I mean, being with Jon Moxley, Pac, and Claudio, like you can't really ask, especially, and not that Daniel Garcia didn't learn anything from Chris Jericho, because clearly you can't not learn from Chris Jericho.
Well, right.
But he learned the sports entertainment side of things, where I think these three, who have all been in sports entertainment, I mean, they were all former WWE wrestlers, but they also have the wrestling aspect of it, where they focus more on that. And so I think that they can learn, obviously, a different type of business with them. And I really like that it's those two. Yes, I really do. I like Daniel with Daddy Magic. I really like Daddy Magic. I think Daddy Magic is underrated on the mic. He can cut some really good promos. He gets very emotional with them. I think he's a solid wrestler. I like Daddy Magic, so I would not be opposed to them getting back together.
I'm pro Daddy Magic.
That is a good question. If they are baby faces now, I think Jon Moxley is.
I think yes, because the Don Callis family sucks.
Maybe not Yuta, because Yuta did.
No, but he's like meant to play that role.
Yuta, everybody hates Yuta, except for it was funny. My friend said when we were at Blood and Guts, he was in a different section than us, and when everybody was booing, he was cheering him, and he said Yuta blew him a kiss.
That's awesome.
I was like, that's great. So I like, but he does really well with it. So I guess it depends on who you ask. And maybe with, like they were saying, with the Don Callis back against Don Callis, maybe they are baby faces.
I think so. I think even though Wheeler Yuta is a little shit, he's still like a baby face. Like as they said when it was in the past, he's our little shit. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Nikki
said yes, she does. I can confirm that Nikki will come. We're constantly repeat nothing at all at Pac during his matches because of the Ned Flanders gif where he has on the where his pants make his butt look big. Lauren, I think you're right. Death Riders and Don Callis family feud loading is probably going to culminate in an Anarchy in the Arena match of Double or Nothing.
I'm into that.
I think you are correct.
I'm good with that. I have no problem with that at all.
Me either.
Sign me up.
Fun. I'm here.
So,
yeah, Crash says that I think the Death Riders are tweeners, like anti-heroes or something. Nikki said she was about to say the same thing. Marina is not a baby face. People love her, but yeah, she's not.
She is a heel right now.
Jordan says, I love Daddy Magic through the crazy eyes, the energy. Everyone get a taste. Yes. Yeah. I like
Daddy Magic's a lot of fun.
Let's see what else. We're still on the free agent part of this. Then Friday night. So MJF, I thought that I like the way they handled the match with Bandito, because we all knew Bandito was not going to win. I would love to see Bandito as men's world champion. If you have listened to the show any amount of time, you know how much I love Bandito. You know that I think that Bandito, he was one of my best wrestlers last year. His body of work last year was incredible. Doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. MJF is not going to lose that title. He just got it. And especially when we've got some other things happening. So I thought that he did the heel work MJF did. That's the heel work I'd like to see from MJF. Like, if he does this type of heel work in his title run, then I will be pleased with it. I don't want it to be anything like the last time he was champion. No. And so I thought he did, but then I liked that Bandito didn't tap out. He basically just went to sleep. And so I think that was the best way. I think it was smart for Bandito. And also MJF barely beat Bandito. Like, he had to really work to overcome that. And I thought the match I really enjoyed that match. So then MJF defended the Triple B on Friday in Limitless Wrestling. If I'm not mistaken, that's the first time the Men's World Championship has ever been defended on the Indies. If MJF is going to take this title to the Indies, I will also appreciate this title run a lot better than the last one. So I am here for that. So he wrestles Alec Price. Clearly he won. Then he announces afterwards, he cuts this promo on Alec Price and Jordan Oliver and welcomes them to AEW. And I am so excited. I love Jordan Oliver. I have been a big fan of his for the last few years. I've watched a ton of his work in GCW and in JCW, the Jersey JCW, not Juggalo JCW. But the Jersey JCW, like, Jordan Oliver is so good. He got injured, missed a ton of time, because I believe it was his, I'm sure Brad can correct me, or even Nikki, I believe it was his ACL. And he worked a lot through rehab to get back, and he hasn't lost a step. Alec Price, I really like a lot. He has really, he has gotten even better. I believe the two of them I want to say they were also wrestling as a tag team in the UK. I believe they went. So they have just been going, they've been wrestling in Japan. Like, they have been doing the work. They have been putting in the work all over the place. And it was, yes. Okay, thank you, Nikki. It was the ACL. And also can confirm that our friend sent us the clip and Nikki gasped so loud that she scared our dogs. And then I was writing an article and I went and looked, and then I too gasped when I saw it because I was so excited. And because there were rumors maybe that Jordan was going to go, I believe it was last year, because AEW trademarked East West Express. East West Express is Jordan Oliver and Nick Wayne. They were a very good tag team. So people thought, oh, Jordan must be on the way in. Obviously, it didn't culminate till now. So I don't know if this also means that Nick Wayne is closer to a return. When I asked Tony Khan about him at the Final Battle call, he just said, obviously, they didn't expect him to be out as long as he had been. Had they known it was going to be that long, they would have taken the ROH TV title off of him. Just that he was progressing and would be back soon. I haven't heard anything else. I don't know how close Nick Wayne is to coming back. He does still have that title. He's not made him vacate it. So I don't know if now that Jordan and Alec are on the way in, does this also mean Nick is closer to coming back? I don't know. Or is Nick not coming back anytime soon? So they're going to do stuff with just Jordan and Alec. But Alec both of them have appeared in AEW on. Jordan did some stuff with ROH some last year. Alec has been in ROH, and I think he also did like Dark too, but he had a match with Lance Archer where he was just selling the hell out of everything, and it was like really good the way, and he like got, people were talking about it, like people were like, who is this guy? Like he made a really good impression from the Lance Archer match as well. So I'm really excited to see the two of them in AEW. I don't know if they're going to be a tag team, or which would be great. They'd be another really great tag team, or if they're going to do single, because they're great as a tag team. They're great as singles wrestlers. Oh, that is right. Alec and Jordan did have the match on ROH against the Swirl. I did see that one. That one was a really good match. So I'm excited that they're here. I hope that we get to see them both. They would be great in ROH. Like ROH needs some tag teams down there. So I would love to see them do some stuff down there. Nikki said make a faction with Nick Wayne, Alec Price, Jordan Oliver, and Kip Sabian. I would be all about that. I think if I remember right, didn't Kip, and I believe when Kip was on the Indies, he did some stuff with them. I think I saw a picture of them the other day. Oh wait, no, Kip was actually it was a picture of the Rascalz with Kip, because I think Kip did some stuff with them in the UK maybe. But I'm ready for Kip to be back on TV. So now that his wife is back, let's also bring Kip back to TV. Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. So I appreciate the insights from this promising new independent talent.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah,
they're good. I have seen them a couple of times at like indies, so. Yeah.
Says that Billy, Nick, Wayne, Alec, and Jordan Tony is booking for Kathy. Hey, if this is what it takes, I'll take it, because I like all of them. So I would take that.
Keep doing
Kathy
that.
Kathy has good taste.
Good taste, yeah.
John says that, or Johnny says that Price, Oliver, and someone else wrestled Billy, Megan, and Mayu. Yes, you know what? I will pull it up because it was on my match of the year. It was on my match of the year list, like in my honorable contenders. I will tell you who it was, because that match was that was one of the best matches on the Indies last year. Wait, that's my 2026 list. Hold please. I'll tell you who it was.
Jordan Oliver wrestled on NXT, right?
No.
No, he didn't. No. Was he? I'm trying to remember what
I'm pretty sure he did not. I don't remember. Let's see. Where is this match at? I know I have it on here because I saw it. Okay. Oh, it was Billy, Megan, Bane, and Mayu versus Young, Dumb, and Broke. That's what it was. And that match was, definitely a 5-star match. That match was on GCW's Top Play on July 5th, because I wrote that down in my notes.
Nice. Well done.
So, it was really, really good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Jordan doesn't like WWE. He didn't.
Okay.
A few times. Yeah, we watched that match together. Brad says Jordan and Myron Reed together again, and Justice rule the wrestling world. Yeah, I'm so excited that they're coming. I can't wait. Michael said, how does AEW beat the allegations of not booking big men like Hobbs well by signing 2 skinny indie wrestlers in his place that Friday?
Damn them.
Well. And then in other AEW contract news, we've also found out from CMLL that Persephone, Hechicero, and Mascara Dorada have all signed contracts with AEW. So they are all 2 contract wrestlers. They are still contracted with CMLL, but also have AEW contracts, and I'm super excited for all 3 of those. Persephone is incredible. She's so good. I'm so glad we get to see her more often. And apparently WWE was really interested in her as well. So I'm glad that Tony locked that down. So we don't have another Stephanie Vacker situation. But Persephone is incredible. Her matches with Athena and Mercedes too. Her match with Mercedes was really good. She's had good match. Every time I see Persephone, I just really have enjoyed everything she's done. I love Mascara Dorada.
I love Lucha.
I thought he had a great C2, even though he only picked up, I think, the 1 win. He was really great. And then I love Echecero. Like, that's been one of my favorite things about the CMLL crossover, especially doing with the ROH stuff, is being exposed to more lucha libre wrestlers, or luchadors, I guess I should say. I'm really excited about that. I really like all of them. I'm glad we're going to get to see more of them. Also, speaking of ROH, I did see the announcement, even though I'm behind on ROH, I did see the announcement that they are working with Metroplex Wrestling, which is Athena's wrestling promotion. Very excited about that because Athena has run 2 all-women's shows. Tony Khan has mentioned wanting to run a women's show. But I said first he needs to let the women main event an AEW pay-per-view before we do an all-women show. However, I'm wondering if this partnership with Athena will eventually lead to an all-womenens show.
Great.
That cannot be the first time that ROH has had women main event. 4 pay-per-views. Athena has been in all of them. So ROH has done it. Not AEW, but I hope that I'm really looking forward to that because Athena, I've heard her shows are really good. I know that they air on Twitch. And they also announced they are working with Maple Leaf Pro. ROH was doing a Global Wars show with them. That is Scott D'Amour's promotion up in Canada. Athena she defended her ROH title there against Giselle Shaw. I think on the first show. They've had some AEW and ROH wrestlers wrestle for them before, so that will be another fun thing. So, yep, they're doing a Global Wars show with ROH as well. Cool. So I'm excited about ROH. Looks like it's got some promising things happening, which is nice to see as somebody who watches ROH.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, Brad, I think you're right. It's partially why Athena likes to stay in ROH. It really is her show. Now she's got of course she doesn't have to be champion to do the MPX shows, but it makes more sense. It does sound like TK has big plans both domestically and internationally this year, which is very nice to see. I think you mentioned, yes, that you hope that La Catalina gets a dual contract. Me too. I really like her a lot. WWE did not know what they were doing with her. She barely wrestled. Yep.
Not WWE.
Brad says Persephone and Dorada are both really young and really good. So happy they got the bag, and now Big Etch is my favorite lucha wrestler, so I'm here for him. Gold him up now. I think now that he's double contracted, I wonder if he's going to be the one to beat Bandito for the ROH title. But it could be Mascara Dorada now that he is, because ROH does a lot with CMLL. So I can see it being either Hechicero or Mascara Dorada being the ones to take, because he's had that title for a very long time. I should know the number of days, but it's been a very long time since we had that. La Catalina and Mina Shirakawa need to wrestle each other. They're the same person. That would be fun. Oh, apparently, LaRon says that they did it in CMLL. It wasn't a singles match, but they have shared a ring together. Oh, good to know. Crash says Counterbook WrestleMania. I don't remember the dates, but Joey Janela is doing a cruise. His version of the Jericho cruise. Joey Janela is doing one.
Sounds good.
They've also started announcing the shows for what does GCW think? They're basically they're more than Mania stuff. Like, they've announced Effie's Big Gay Brunch. They're doing Despy's Death Match show. The World on Lucha has been announced, and
they're doing it in Vegas, right?
Yeah, because that's where WrestleMania is again this year. Brad says that he needs Maya World and High End to have a tag match with Persephone.
Oh wait, WrestleMania is not in Saudi Arabia? I thought
not yet.
Happening.
No,
okay.
They were supposed to. No, it was supposed to be in New Orleans. It had been announced, and all the indies were planning to go to New Orleans, and then they got screwed and wanted to go back to Vegas. And some of the indies were like, we're not going. They're like, we've already, like, I think some of them are still just going to run shows in Orlando, or they're not going to run shows at all. But GCW will be not counter booking, but will be booking around that.
Okay.
Yes, I agree. TK has a very credible roster of dynamic athletes to play, and his huge sandbox is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm looking forward to. Sounds like there's exciting stuff. And then Zeta, even though she is, she's been in ROH. I believe she got her All Elite graphic last night, and then Brad mentioned it too that Lena Cross should be debuting soon. She was moving to Florida. I had heard that they signed Lena Cross. I saw her wrestle at DPW's last show in Charlotte in October. She's really tall, and her name on the indies is the biggest bitch on the indies. And so I was like, I probably will be changing that moniker.
RJ City tweeting out this week, how many of these things did we give out, was one of my funniest moments of the wrestling week. And it was great because I'm like, literally, you're making them, dork. Like, I know that you're one of the guys that's actually in there, like, helping with that stuff. And yet you come out and you're like, how many of these things are we giving out this week?
I love the RJ City.
Me.
I love the RJ City not getting a graphic bit. It will never get old.
He was killing me when he said that. I was like, that's great. I love it.
So it wasn't just limited to WWE and AEW getting new wrestlers this week, because over in TNA, I willingly watched Impact, which was, I will probably not willingly watch it again anytime soon, but I did willingly watch the first hour. Then I recorded the second hour because Grey's Anatomy was coming on, and I would much rather watch Grey's Anatomy than what was happening. And I did feel bad though, because I did have to change the channel during a women's match, and I was like, sorry, this is going to affect your ratings, but I have to switch over here. But yes, before I get into the TNA stuff, Brad, yes, keep an eye on West Coast Pro. They're doing their own collective style shows during Mania. They are also, not only are they working with New Texas Pro, but they are working with, I think it's St. Louis Anarchy and 2 other promotions, which means they are also officially recognizing all of those champions so that their champions can come defend their titles in West Coast Pro. Like, West Coast Pro is, so the indies are not dead, even though they are going to hurt deeply by not having DPW and by not having Prestige. They are still, West Coast is doing their best with these other companies to help with the indie stuff. So there's a lot of good stuff there. New Texas Pro, I have a friend that lives in that area and goes to New Texas Pro, so he's been talking about them for the last 3 or 4 years, so I was familiar with some of the stuff that was happening there. And I knew, Hyann and Brian Keith were there. Actually, when I met Brian Keith at the DPW show, I mentioned New Texas because I told him I had a friend who was a thing. Crash says demo dropped off entirely after the first hour due to Grey's Anatomy. Tell Paul in case he's wondering.
No.
At least
You're dumb. I'm not doing it.
Impact wasn't just bad, even worse, it was boring. You should be entitled to compensation for sitting through the TNA debut. That was awful. So I didn't realize that Wrestling Inc. was doing live coverage, and I saw the other person who does live coverage. She does them typically for Raw and SmackDown and the pay-per-views. And so I told her, I was like, I just realized that you did live coverage, and I was like, at least you got paid for it, because I willingly watched it, and that was a mistake. It started, like, I missed the first few minutes because I didn't realize what time it was, so I missed AJ come out. So Impact, this should have probably been a sign. So TNA, when they first started on Spike, the first wrestler you ever saw was AJ Styles. TNA debuts on AMC. The first wrestler you ever see is AJ Styles, except for AJ Styles is not contracted to TNA. So if you were tuning into TNA expecting to see AJ Styles regularly, you were going to be sorely disappointed, because he is a WWE wrestler. That's who he's under contract with, not TNA. So to open up AMC and have AJ Styles out there when AJ Styles has not been a TNA wrestler for a while is very on brand for TNA. They are never going to get rid of the LOL TNA meme will follow them forever. Like they're just never going to escape it. I guess they've accepted it. So it starts out pretty solid. They have a decent match. It's the Hardys and trying to think. It was the Hardys and Elijah, who was the former Elias.
Right.
Versus Order 4, which is Mustafa Ali, John Schuyler, and Jason Hodge. It was a solid match. It was quick to the point. Well, I mean, they got the job done. The Righteous comes out afterwards, beats up the Hardys because they had a match at Genesis last night. The Righteous officially signed with TNA, I believe, Friday. I think either yesterday or Friday it came out that they got the TNA graphic that they officially signed with them. And then they had 3 matches in their entire 2-hour show. Listen, Fernando, I am struggling. Remember that. That's how bad it was.
Maybe she doesn't want to. Okay,
my brain is trying to protect me.
She's really survival.
Yes, TNA will always find a way to TNA. And listen, I have said this a million times. I want TNA to be successful. I want them to be on TV. The more wrestlers on TV, the better. Not everybody can go to AEW. Not everybody can go to ROH. Not everybody can go to WWE. Not everybody can go to NXT. Not everybody can even go to New Japan for that matter. The more places people can work in wrestling, the better. And again, it's not just the wrestlers. We've talked about this. It's the camera people. It's the makeup people. It's catering. It's everything behind the scenes. Like, so I want people to have jobs. I want them to get paid, as well as they can be. Nobody knows the contract with, nobody knows the details of the contract with AMC. So I don't know how much money they're getting. Clearly it worked for some people because they re-signed Cedric Alexander, which I hope he's getting a little bit more of an AMC bag.
Yeah, right.
I love Cedric. And for those of you who are new here, I have watched Cedric since the beginning of his career. I used to pay $5 to go watch him wrestle in a rec center. So I have followed his career for a very long time. And he's whenever at Ashay's next show, he's supposed to have a number 1 contendership for the championship. But obviously TNA is his priority. So he has to do whatever they say. So hopefully I'll get to see Cedric again soon. But yeah, so I want them to be successful. So I am not happy that this show was so awful. I don't want it to be. I want them to succeed. And we talked about it before, like 2024 going into 2025, they were in a much better place than they were ending 2025 going into 2026. And I think a lot of that is because Scott D'Amore is no longer there. Scott D'Amore did a lot for that company. And of course they've lost. I mean, they lost Motor City. They lost Joe Hendry. They lost Jordan Grace. They've lost a lot of this talent, but they also, there is the big glaring problem of WWE releasing wrestlers and then they go to TNA and then come work for WWE, but at a much lower rate because they probably don't get paid as much as TNA in TNA as they do in NXT, and so it's a little shady what they're doing. But it is what it is. Michael says, is TNA burning the place down for insurance?
I mean,
after watching what I watched,
it's not like no one's used that strategy in the past. Like
right.
rich guys do it all the time. Like someone did it to my business once. So I mean, it's totally like, I mean, if you have the money, which WWE and AMC do, I mean, maybe.
It's hard to not look at that show and just be like, are you tanking it?
That sucks. That's really not what I was hoping for. I mean, it's what I expected. I can't say it's not what I expected, but it's not what I was hoping for because like you said, the more jobs, the more wrestling on television, the more exposure, the more ad dollars.
Well, and competition is supposed to, like, the more competition, the better. Like, that's
theory,
always a good thing. And it is, like, you're going to see guys like Powerhouse Hobbs jump to WWE and potentially even Anna Jay maybe. We saw Blake Monroe go over there, but then we're gonna see the opposite too. You're gonna see people, jump ship to AEW, which is good. It's healthy for the wrestling business for them to be able to have places to go back and forth. If there are no, for a long time there was one place and that was it.
Yeah.
Or you were going to TNA and still not making much money. And so it's unfortunate that they had such a terrible show because it was really awful. So there were a ton of segments. Then they bring out, so Santino comes out because that's where Santino's like their commissioner or GM or whatever. I forget what he calls himself, but Santino was there. And so he comes out, and then all of a sudden this music hits and there's a woman's shadow or silhouette that pops up. And it is the former Sonya Deville. She's going by her real name, Daria Ray. She comes out, puts over Santino and how great he is for the wrestling business, blah, blah, blah. And then says, that's why we have to get rid of you. So she's a heel GM type of figure. Doesn't look like she'll be wrestling. Then she welcomes out her first signee, which is Elena Black, who is the former Cora Jade. Elena was her name on the Indies. Really interesting. I think TNA is probably a good place for her to land, especially because I haven't followed her too much since she's been back on the Indies. I did see a bit of her before she was on WWE, and I enjoyed some of her work. Cora Jade, I was not so much a fan of. A lot of people were not so much a fan of her, so they were just like, oh, okay. So they got their two new signees, but then in the match that I ended up missing most of because it was time for Grey's Anatomy, the Inspiration dropped the tag titles to not Ash by Elegance, M by Elegance, and I don't know what the other, but H by Elegance, I think is their name. And then it turns out Inspiration dropped the titles because they're leaving. Their contracts are up. They were working like short-term deals. Sean, I keep on it. What is Sean's last name? Spears. I blocked his name. He posted it with like a side-eye emoji. Makes me wonder if they're headed back to NXT. Because that's where he is. So maybe that's where the Inspiration are going. I don't know. So they're gone with TNA. TNA's tag team division, women's or knockout tag team division, has been a mess for a while. So there's that. From what I heard, that I believe Mike said that match was very, very not good. Which sounds about right. Then the Elegance brand also debuted a guy named Mr. Elegance. He was hidden under a giant feather jacket. They brought Perez Hilton out for this. Right. The whole segment was a mess. And so yes, now they have a new guy named Mr. Elegance. That's a thing. They had celebrities. Some of them were from the AMC show. It was so weird. So they have these like where the celebrities are sitting, and it's some people from some of the AMC shows. Then it was Mara Sade, who is a TNA wrestler. So I don't know why they had her out there with the celebrity. She's contracted with them. She lost to Ryan Nemeth last night on the Genesis pay-per-view. Okay. Because, yeah. But then next to her is Candice Michelle. For, I don't know why. She was just there. So they had her out there for whatever reason. They did bring out Dixie for a minute. Then they brought out Bully Ray for commentary for the main event. They made Dixie hug Bully. From what I remember, they don't have a great relationship. And people were like, why would they do Dixie like that? Because they're TNA, that's why. The main event, like the wrestling itself was not bad. It was Frankie Kazarian versus Mike Santana. But there was just like no emotion. Like we knew Mike Santana was going to win the title back. That was the whole reason they took the title. Like they fumbled if we're going to talk about fumbling in wrestling, we're going to talk about how we fumbled Mike Santana. Well, first of all, AEW fumbled Mike Santana and Ortiz, fumbled them as tag team champions. But the fumbling has continued. They had the perfect moment last summer to crown Mike Santana in front of his home state audience. The people were Like there were Puerto Rican flags everywhere. They were loud. I haven't heard a TNA crowd that loud in a really long time. And then he lost. And it was a mess. Like people were pissed. Fans in the building were mad. People online were mad. So Santana finally wins the title. Then he loses it like less than 2 months later, if I remember correctly. And then we were like, oh, it's so he can win it back on AMC on their debut show. It had no emotion. Nobody, we were just like, okay, great. Mike Santana has the title again.
Right.
Again, pretty much the highlight of that show was the I Heart Mike Gilbert sign. But again, Kaz and Santana, they're going to wrestle great. They had a really solid match. Nobody cared.
Right.
They didn't, it just felt like they didn't
have any personal investment.
Then they didn't even put the next part on the show. It was a TNA exclusive on Twitter where Nick Nemeth comes out. He won the Call Your Shot match a few months ago. It appeared that he was going to cash in to call his shot, but then Kaz wanted his guaranteed rematch. So they did the rematch last night at Genesis in a Texas death match with Nick Nemeth as a special guest referee.
Okay. Sure.
Mike Santana retains. After the match, Nick Nemeth immediately turns on him, cashes in his Call Your Shot match opportunity. So I guess that's happening at the next pay-per-view.
Okie dokie.
So that's what's happening over there. Then there's the whole Leon Slater situation. So originally, Leon Slater was scheduled to defend his title against Myron Reed on Thursday night on the debut show. As I said earlier from the Fightful report, Myron Reed was willing to, even though he was not under contract, he was willing to have the match, go ahead and do it, lose on his way out, and be done with it. And then it came out that WWE wanted to use Leon on their European tour. Leon is from England. SmackDown was at Wembley. But Leon was also scheduled to wrestle at Genesis. So he would have had to have flown to London, wrestled, and then turn around and fly back to Dallas, Texas to defend his title in a 3-way match with Cedric and Moose. That was the original plan. That was announced weeks ago. That's what we were supposed to be doing. Then that report came out that WWE wanted him for SmackDown. And then, because he had wrestled on New Year's Eve against Obafemi for the NXT Championship. He lost, and then after the match, Obafemi left his title in the ring and left. So he vacated the title that he had just defended. So, because Obafemi's been called to the main roster. So Leon, or they announced a backstage segment or TV something like, or off camera, basically, that Leon Slater is one of, reportedly there were multiple wrestlers who were having some visa issues. Leon Slater was allegedly one of those people, was back in the UK because of this. So TNA granted him permission to wrestle on SmackDown. He did answer Carmelo Hayes' open challenge for the US title. They had a really good match. Very, very good. Leon just barely beat Leon. Like, it was a very good match. And so because Leon did not wrestle at Genesis last night, it was just a triple threat between Cedric, Moose, and Joe Hendry. Oh, and apparently they aired, because I thought on TNA's Twitter account, they aired a video of Leon Slater saying he was sorry he couldn't be there. He promised Moose and Cedric Alexander future title shots whenever he is back, is the way he worded it. So there's some questionable things going on there.
Yeah.
There have been rumors. Apparently some people thought that because WWE let AJ go to TNA to be on their debut episode, that this was that Leon was, they basically gave him Leon in exchange. Fightful disputes that, says that's not the case. AJ was already going to be there. Leon was supposed to be there. Supposedly, the visa issue is real. he was already home in the UK. WWE wanted him. That's the story going around. Who knows? It's unfortunate that he missed. He was scheduled to have 2 title defenses in 3 days. Didn't happen. So, yeah. Michael says it's a partnership where your partner won't even let you use the IP names for their former WWE talent on your show.
Yeah. Real partnership.
Yeah. What a weird thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a kind of a messy situation all around, and it did not help after the really bad night that TNA had. But apparently, I saw something that AMC executives were happy with the show, but that's because AMC doesn't know anything about wrestling because they've never been in the wrestling business.
Someone else pointed it out though in our Discord. They're like, just because they were happy with the show doesn't mean that they're happy with the numbers or the outcome. You can like say you're happy with the show, but what's really going to matter is like, what are the ratings? What are the views? What are people feeling after a debut that doesn't sound very exciting to me? I mean, I didn't watch it. But I heard nothing. I could not find a single person that I trusted saying anything nice about what happened on Thursday night.
Listen, Mike Gilbert is the most honest person you can find. He will tell you when he hates it. He will tell you when he loves it.
Correct.
I'm sure I haven't had a chance to listen, but I'm sure Mike Gilbert has had lots of things to say about the show. I saw a few things on Twitter. But PW Insider did report the original, because I covered both stories. Because Monday, since Raw was during the day during my day job, I was picking up for grabs stories. So the PW Insider story was that WWE wanted to use Leon in the European show. Also mentioned that he is supposedly under contract with TNA through the end of the year. Fightful is the one who reported the other half, because again, I wrote that article as well. So Fightful is the one who says that about the visa issues, and that it was, that AJ Styles was not on loan in exchange for Leon, that he was always planned to be there, and that because he was already home in the UK, that's why TNA gave him permission to wrestle for WWE. So that came from that part of the story came from Fightful. So these are both of the things that I read for the articles I had to write. But yes, there are a lot of questionable things with the visa story. Could potentially be a cover.
I think that people felt like there were a lot of coincidences that were too easy to dismiss.
Right.
But
yeah, I mean,
it is WWE. So
I guess Joe Hendry technically was an exchange, because Joe Hendry is a WWE talent. He is no longer under contract with TNA. He is contracted specifically for WWE. He has one contract, and that is with WWE. I got to cover his debut match with The Miz on SmackDown, so I got to cover that too. But yeah. Okay. I missed this comment. So Brad says he's talking about the AEW execs being happy that story came from PW Insider. I didn't see. I don't read PW Insider. I'm not subscribed to them. The only reason I had that is because that's where the source of my article came from. So I'm not subscribed to them.
All I know is I don't get an overwhelming sense of security from my friends in the sphere that PW Insider is a reliable source of.
Oh no, they are not. They haven't been for a long time.
And that they may have some kayfabe interests in their.
They do. But again, as I was saying, the original part of my story came from them wanting.
I ended up reading your story because of all the stuff I was hearing.
Yeah, the PW Insider stuff.
I had no context for what I was hearing.
Part, as far as the WWE wants Leon, ended up being correct, that they wanted to use him, because they did. But then the rest of it came from the rest of that story, which was the second one I wrote, that came from Fightful. As far as did they use AJ with AJ an exchange and all that stuff. And AJ, no, he was not an exchange. Sounds like he was always planned to be there. Is Leon really having these issues?
I don't think personal opinion, with no extreme advanced knowledge of anything, is probably not, but it's neither here nor there, because the bigger issue in the bigger picture is what is the fallout from Thursday night's premiere?
Right.
All the way around.
And how fast is Leon coming back? Because Leon promised them both. He promised both Cedric and Moose title shots whenever he gets back. So he didn't even say when. So that was I noticed, I was like, oh, that's very much I don't want to say non-committal, but not.
TNA should remember that old adage about not shaking hands with the devil and saying you're sorry.
Yeah, so that's what's going over on a TNA. And then I did see, because I didn't watch Genesis. I would not have watched it anyway, even if I had not been on Collision coverage. But I did see, because one of my fellow colleagues that was helping out with Collision saw it as well. They did have, so there was a Friday, they were teasing a mystery wrestler who made his name in Texas, and for some reason people thought that was JBL.
Oh,
the
God.
replies were
Please
JBL,
no.
and I thought maybe it was Zilla Fatu. Zilla wrestles for Booker T's Reality of Wrestling. He was in the crowd Thursday night, so I thought, okay, well, maybe it's Zilla. Then somebody said it's going to be Booker T coming off commentary to call his own match like he did in TNA a few years ago. Turns out it was none of the above. It was KJ Orso, who is the former Fuego del Sol. He's been killing it on the indies since he unmasked last year. Even prior to that, he filled in and had a match. I forget who Zach Sabre Jr. was originally supposed to wrestle, but that person ended up being injured. Fuego got the match. Zach apparently had really great things to say about him.
Right
on. He was having some really good matches in GCW. I haven't been able to watch GCW as much the last year, but from what I saw, he was doing great. He unmasked. Has been a heel character from what I think he's won a couple titles for a couple places. He's doing really well, it seems like. So I don't know if he's signed to TNA, if he's just doing there are a lot of short-term contracts or people working without contracts, but TNA probably should be doing, this is probably the type of stuff they should be doing. They should probably be bringing in some of these people who aren't going to be signed or who are already, because obviously Fuego was with AEW and then they didn't do anything with him. They should be bringing in talent like that. Again, people need paychecks, people need exposure on TV, things like that. I would like to see kind of more of that type of thing. So I don't know, what KJ, if he signed or was just because they were in Texas that he did the show, or if he's going to do, anything further with them. But so I was happy for him to see that. And then I also know Fandango, he's in TNA, he is JDC. I believe those are his initials. He had his retirement match last night against Eddie Edwards, who's one of his best friends. They've been friends for a really long time. They did a segment on the Thursday show. He's talking about don't go easy on me. I want to have an actual match. And then the one clip that I've seen from the match itself was him mocking John Cena, where he's in the, where they're doing the arm, his face is there, and he did not give up. He got out of it and fought back. Then he put Eddie Edwards in the Lion Tamer, which was apparently a callback to WrestleMania 29. So I just thought it was funny that he got the little dig at John Cena in his final match, but he too lost his final match. Eddie Edwards did beat him, and then I saw they had him he hugged them in the ring. He goes out and some of the locker room comes out and standing at the top of the ramp. He goes by and he's shaking hands with fans. He hugs Tom Hannafin, who's one of the commentators, and Like he like just leave, and then he goes up and like just waves, and that was it. Like he didn't give a speech or anything like that, which, you know, not surprised that he kind of did that. And so yeah, those are basically the two. Oh, and then apparently I do know Robert Stone, who I don't know what he does in NXT anymore. But apparently he helped Tessa Blanchard win her match last night.
Okay.
I don't know. That was something I saw in Slack when I was on Collision coverage. I just happened to look and I was like, oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, so those are the things that happen in TNA. TNA is a mess. I don't know how they're going to fix it. Yeah. It's unfortunate because they do have good talent there. Like Mance Warner is somebody who's there, and Mance Warner is somebody I've been a fan of for a really long time. Fans seem to really enjoy his work there, so like I'm happy for him. Hope again, I'm glad people are getting paid and things like that, but I will probably not willingly watch TNA anytime soon. They gave me no reason. I mean, they did have AJ when he was there. He was talking to Kaz when Kaz, obviously at the time, was still the champion. He kind of glanced down at the title, like they planted little seeds for him to come back and have a title match. And he talked to Mike Santana. So it does sound like potentially, AJ is supposed to be retiring this year. I could definitely see him having one more match in TNA on the way out. That's not really enough to make me want to willingly tune in. Like, good for AJ. I'm sure the match will be good. Maybe I would watch AJ's last TNA match, depending on who it's against. But like, it's not anything. There's nothing.
Well, it's not appointment watching stuff for you at this point.
It's not especially not when I have ROH to catch up on. Grey's Anatomy is back. Like, I'm not going out of.
You have more important like wrestling and properties that you want to put, because there's too much. Like, this is real. Like, it's not just too much wrestling. There's too much media content out there. You have to like pick and choose. And like I've said, like, WWE cuts into a lot of my New Japan time. Right. Having to cover them cuts into that. It cuts into my indie and my time watching the indie wrestling. They cut into a lot of my time. So yeah, TNA is not something that has earned my time and attention to watch every single week. Which is unfortunate that it got to that point, because there was even a couple of years ago where I was still watching regularly. Same. I enjoyed what was happening. I enjoyed some of it. Some of it was awful, and thankfully I could fast forward through things. But if they're gonna need, after that show, they're probably gonna need Chris Jericho to come, pop some ratings for them at some point. Because, I mean, again, there are TNA diehards who will continue to watch the product, and bless them for it. Good for them. But yeah, it's not for me. And it's just unfortunate that, everybody was hyping them up, and it was good that they were getting, this AMC exposure, and that is the show that they put out. That's what you've been building all these months toward, was that show. And I hate it for the talent. It's unfortunate. But some of the talent on that show did not deliver either. So yeah. It was just a show that happened. And unfortunately, it continued the LOL TNA. And they're never gonna escape it. Even when they had that good run that they were having like a couple years ago, it always seems to find them. They'll never escape it. But they're still here and providing jobs for people. So there is that. Brad says Jericho saw what happened on Thursday night and called Tony out to say he'd rather be a jobber in ROH. I don't want to see Chris Jericho in AEW or ROH, so he's just gonna have to get over it. I have no desire. I have no desire to see him anymore, and so. Yeah, I don't know how these people that claim that TNA is going to be the number 2 promotion, they're not even going to surpass GCW at this point. And GCW is not on television. Lying to yourself is not that hard.
This is true, especially when you're an AEW hater.
True story. Once you're in a cult, lying to yourself is really, really easy.
Yeah, it is.
Just saying.
Yeah, so... yeah, it was a busy week in wrestling, and there were a lot of things that happened, and that was one of them. Brad. He said TNA number 2 promotion, not to number 2 promotion. Jordan says TNA needs a Tony Khan or a Paul Heyman from ECW days. Strong, consistent leadership and passion. They did. They had that. And Scott D'Amore. And that's not to say Scott D'Amore's TNA was perfect. Because there were a lot of... Scott D'Amore is like after that whole shit with Tessa happened, he's the one who he kept that title on her for a while. So, and there's been other mistakes. And but listen, Tony Khan makes plenty of mistakes too. So I'm not going to say clearly they both have. So, but overall, I felt like Scott D'Amore was that person for them, and they got rid of him, and now they're stuck with Delirious, and Delirious was not a good booker in ROH when he was doing in the Sinclair days. He was booking ROH, and it was rough. And now
we saw what happened there.
Also, not only Delirious is your booker, you also have Tommy Dreamer involved in creative, and that's not
Tommy Dreamer's not. It's 2026, guys.
Yeah. And it's funny because I finally, I'm not very far into it, but I finally started reading The Death of WCW.
Oh.
And I'm reading the 10th year anniversary. So that book was dedicated to Dixie and Bob.
Oh, that's fantastic. I knew there was
and they were like telling TNA like, hey, this is what WCW did wrong. Don't do it. I
can't remember if that's the version I have or not, but it's
I forgot. I've had it on my bookshelf. A friend lent it to me after he also lent me the Young Bucks book, and I finally finished that. He's got that, and so I was looking at my bookshelf and I was like, where did this come from? And Nikki was like, I think it came from Doug. And so we texted Doug, and he was like, yes. And so I started, and so because it's the 10-year anniversary, there's an added opening section because of where WWE was 10 years ago. And then there's the original foreword and then the original preface. So, and they're all paged in Roman numerals. So for tracking purposes on Storygraph, where I'm trying to track my January reading, I can't track Roman numerals. So it was a pain. I had to wait until I got to the main part of the book. And so I'm only 50 pages into it. So Eric Bischoff has just taken over WCW. And has just been put in charge. And so that's as far as I have gotten. But I was talking to a couple of my friends about it who have read it. And I was like, am I going to be pissed off this entire book? Because I was just reading the pre-stuff, which talks about how driving home the point that WCW should have never went out of business because they had Ted Turner backing them. They should have never, ever, they should be like TNA.
And he wanted it. He wanted it.
Ted Turner wanted this to be its success.
He wanted wrestling on. He loved the legacy.
He fought for it when other people were like, get rid of it. And he was like, no. And then it talks about, of course, I knew the stuff with Vince McMahon, but it talks about how he went behind people's backs and bought out territories, and how his dad basically thought he was going to be a failure, and and then how he bought the time from Ted. So it talks about how he and Ted Turner, how Vince, what started between Vince and Ted Turner, how they got to where they were rivals and where they hated each other. It covers that. And so I was just but it talks about, and then it talks about how, Dusty Rhodes was a problem for booking at some points with Grant. And but then of course he comes back and he creates War Games, which is one of my favorite matches of all time. So then you see that, and then they're talking about, of course, Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan and Kevin Nash not wanting to book all their friends, not wanting to take pay cuts, just being wrestlers of the day and just being stuck in an 80s mindset.
They were so carnies.
They are. And so
they were the carnies. It was horrible.
Very carny. And so I was like, am I going to be pissed off the whole time? Because I'm already mad at reading about Eric Bischoff again. And I hadn't even, this was before I even got to him being, how he first got in charge, and how they thought it was going to be Tony Schiavone that was going to take over WCW, but then they wanted somebody younger, and it turned into, and that's how Eric Bischoff, because Eric Bischoff understood marketing a little bit, where these old heads did not. They just wanted to run the territories, and Eric Bischoff was a little bit smarter, and that he fell into that job.
I have the Audible version, so Brian actually reads it.
Oh, I can imagine.
Which is cool with me because when Brian is talking intelligently, so when he's reading his own book that's laid out and it has bullet points and stuff like that, I like listening to him when he's like that. When he and Dave are doing their gimmick, I can't anymore. I don't even listen anymore. I just can't.
I did see somebody asked in the comments if we saw the clip of Brian Alvarez talking about what happened with Yuta and Dante Martin last week and how Marina was cracking up, and I did see them talking about it because I also was on live coverage and I was like, they're running the ropes and like, I'm like, how do I write this? Because Yuta and Pac are running the ropes, they're running the ropes. And then Yuta just kind of just gets down and Dante's still not where he needs to be. And I missed the part with Marina until I saw the clip, and Marina is cracking up because Wheeler is like running back and forth. I mean, Pac is too, and then Dante is just still not in place. And it was really funny. And so, but yeah, so Brian and then I did see the clip of Brian and Filthy Tom talking about TNA debut. I did see a little bit of that clip yesterday, but
Filthy Tom doesn't take his shit, so it's way better. That's fine. They talk, it's more of a discussion than when him and Dave do their
Tom
they're
was
circular, like
Tom was trying to be nice about it, and Brian was like, "This show is shit. Like, why are you defending it?" Which he's correct.
He's so sassy now. He's gone like way beyond the pit. He's like so much older now, and he's just like, I'm too sassy. So I'm like, he's gone full Brian Alvarez now. So it's like I can take it on certain things, but like a whole podcast of it for me is like too much. It's like
I did see on Twitter. I don't know if Paul. This has been brought to Paul's attention. Well, maybe it has because he did tag Paul. Filthy Tom roasted Paul Fontaine the other day on Twitter. So, you know how at the beginning of our slates, there's pictures of us. Well, the takedown is Paul and Garrett. Paul is got the number, just holding up the number one finger. And so Filthy said, is he in the bloodline? Why is he? Actually, it was more of Garrett that roasted Paul than Tom. So he's like, is he in the bloodline? Why is he holding up a single finger? And Garrett said, we told him to show some charisma, and that's what he did. I forget what Tom's response was. So Tom and Garrett were roasting Paul under the Fight Game Media Twitter the other day.
Okay, that's awesome because I know that Garrett and Tom are also good friends with Paul. So they are if anyone is going to be able to get away with giving out to Paul Fontaine, it's Tom Lawler and Garrett Gonzalez. They are the goodest brothers to Paul I've ever seen, and I love them. That's how I met Tom Lawler the first year that I was here.
I'm still so mad that I missed that because
and that's because Paul is. He may be grumpy grandpa sometimes, but deep down inside, Paul is a good brother, and he is one of the best people. And like that was a really fun thing.
I know. I'm hoping.
I barely knew him at that point. And
we did, and so Paul probably doesn't remember this. I mean, he probably doesn't remember. I'm like, hopefully he will make it happen someday because Mel and I are fans of Filthy Tom as a wrestler. We were watching New Japan Strong, talking about like. We love this, ripping off the shorts to reveal shorter shorts. Like we love that whole bit and that whole gimmick. And Paul was nice enough to invite me and Mel on a show with Tom Lawler because we didn't know who it was going to be. But I didn't do the show because the Braves had won the World Series the season before, and they were getting there because of the time of day. It was later in the evening for me, and so they were getting presented. They were doing their whole championship presentation, and I didn't really get into the Braves until 1996. So I missed the last time when the Braves won the World Series in 95. I missed all of that. So I was like, I'm not totally missing it. Then I find out that Filthy Tom was on that show, and I was so mad that I missed meeting Filthy Tom. And so Paul will hopefully, maybe somebody will remind him that he needs.
Well, maybe when they throw down, maybe they'll need
and let me come back on.
I was gonna say maybe they'll need a moderator, and you can go on there and make sure that they don't hurt each other on when they all come. Maybe they'll all come onto a podcast and invite you there as you can be their Aubrey Edwards there to keep them in line.
I will listen. I'll do it.
That'd be great. I'd book this.
Yeah, somebody please somebody
Paul
tell
versus Filthy Tom versus Garrett Gonzalez with Sam as the referee.
Let me be the
Sam
moderator.
as a special guest referee.
Book it.
Just make it
Book
happen.
We have a nice surprise here in the chat. Look who's here.
Oh my gosh. Welcome.
James
Love
is
you.
here. I haven't talked to him in so long.
He was on that episode. With
that
me.
Is right.
I was one of the few times. I think that's the only time I was on with Salty Scott. But James and I have had a few times where we got to do some Boom episodes with those folks. But good to see you. Welcome.
I'm so glad you're here.
Me
it's
too.
Been such a long time since we've talked, and I'm so glad. That has just made my entire day. Thank you for popping in.
Good to see you. Welcome back to East Coast time.
Yes, I hope you're doing well. Hope Papa Duff is doing well.
Yeah, I hope you're feeling yourself healthily but fully with crawdads.
Yes, very much so.
Very exciting. Thanks for stopping by. That's so awesome. And Happy New Year too. Oh, Sam Freeze.
Yes, Happy New Year.
Yay.
Oh gosh,
that's fun.
That's an exciting run-in.
That.
It's been a while since we've had a run-in like that. We need to have him come on. Yeah, I just saw that too, Brad. As I'm welcoming James back to the show, I got the alert from Hassan.
Oh no.
Kim, our shortstop that we lost him in free agency. We brought him back. He has had to have surgery on a torn tendon in his right middle finger and is expected to miss opening day. And hang on, I'm going to read the rest of this alert to see what the recovery time is. Why didn't the rest of the other alert come up?
It doesn't want you to see it because it doesn't.
Apparently, doesn't want me to see it. So
it wants to take care of you. It's protecting you. Your phone is protecting your mental health right now.
Our shortstop situation is a little on the dire side. So
oh my, that's ugly. I'm sorry. That's no good.
So sounds like maybe May at the earliest. Wait, but that's not even. I assume that's not including rehab. So maybe, God.
I hope your GM is really good at off-season acquisitions.
He's. All right, AA, go do your magic and go find us.
Yeah, I watch it with that stuff. You're like, Mel, don't get me started.
AA is good. I trust him. He's made some questionable choices, but overall, that man has delivered, and he always seems to find some player that is not doing somewhere else, and they come have a killer season for us. So AA, I'm putting my trust in you to please go find us.
Because watching the Tigers off season, even with limited knowledge, is a little frustrating and weird.
Yeah, shortstops are not easy to come by.
That's such a skill. It's such a high skill position.
It's one or the other. They're good with the bat, not so great at the defense, or they're great with the glove, not so good at the offense. So
struggle.
And Kim is one who is good at both. So it is very unfortunate that this is happening. God,
that sucks. I'm sorry for you. That sucks. I hope he gets better too.
Me too.
That's crap. Anyway, but we had James here, so that was good.
Yeah. So I'm gonna shamelessly plug myself.
It's not. I mean, yes, it is a shameless plug, but I would have said it anyway.
I'm shamelessly gonna plug this. So if you follow me and or Powerbombshells on Twitter or Blue Sky, I need to post it to our Instagram, but I didn't want to do it on a Friday because you know how the algorithm can be on.
You don't want to post during the Friday news dumps,
right? Exactly. So I was like, I'll wait and post this sometime next week. So Cam Hawkins, who is Seahawk, and we've talked about how Tony Khan only calls him Seahawk on media calls, and every time does not call him Cam, calls him Seahawk.
It's hilarious.
And so Seahawk often writes ebooks. He sources, he gets other great great writers who typically, he tries to avoid people who write for bigger websites to give them exposure, which is really cool. He was, a few weeks ago, he was looking for 3 writers, And I usually see Seahawks tweets, but I had missed that one. And another friend, Doc from Bleacher Report, saw it, tagged me in it. And so I emailed Cam about it, and it ended up working out. And so I got to, so the book that's out now is I want to get this title right because sometimes wait, did I put the full title in here? I think I did so that I would say it right. So his ebook is called The Very Best Wrestlers of the Year 2025. And he had Lauren Moran, who, if you follow wrestling Twitter, you probably are familiar with her work. She's a really incredible artist. She does focus a lot on wrestling, but she does other genres other genres as well, or other types of things. I think she does, like, I want to say like superheroes, maybe. I may be way off, and I apologize if I got that wrong. But as far as it comes to wrestling, she's really good. Like, I have a wrestling tarot deck, and she created. That's how. I mean, I'd seen some of her stuff, but but she created some of the artwork for a few of the cards because they sourced a bunch of different people for the tarot deck to do art. But anyway, so Lauren is an incredible artist. And I should have. You know what? Let me see if I can it might take me a second. I'm going to see if I can't put this cover up here. I have it emailed. I should have been on top of it.
I read Cam's book last year because Garrett was looking. He was like, does anyone want, he was looking to buy it because he likes to support that stuff, but he wasn't going to have time to read it. So he just was like, who wants to read this? And gifted it. And they tagged me and were like, Mel reads all the time. And so I have a copy of last year's book, and it's a lot of fun. Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. When I saw I was like, oh, it's a new book. And I was like, Sam's in it.
I am. So yeah, I will take a second because I want to show this artwork because it's really, really nice. And again, I should have been more prepared and already had this ready. But so I got to write about Mercedes Moné and the year that she had in 2025. And let me tell you, getting that down to just 200 words was not easy because
awesome.
she had an incredible year last year. So I was really honored to be a part of this. There's some really great writers who are involved in this. I really appreciate getting the platform from Cam to be able to do this. And this is something that he does a lot of. And he, very excited to be a part of it. The suggested price is $8, but you can give whatever you would like to give. I did see, and I saw a couple of things, like I was reading. So a lot of the people, they wait for Cam's books every year and they purchase all of them, which is great because there's exposure to a lot of writers. And like I saw one person said that he gave a little extra so that they could do giveaways with them, or that they could give books.
I think that's
give that to
where
other
Garrett's
people, which is really cool. So if you want to support independent writers and independent artists, that is definitely a way to do that. I didn't put the link up here on the thing but I do have it. I'll put it in the chat in just a second if I can get.
And we will retweet it on our account.
Yeah, we'll definitely post about it.
Because I want to definitely do that because it's so super cool and it's a lot of fun. And I was like, yay.
Oh, this is giving me a hard time like it was the other day
we can put it on we're going to start posting on our IG regularly. We're going to put dog pictures and artwork on there by human artists that are doing human artwork, but that are not robots.
Right. And so I'll put a link in the chat to the ebook so that if you want to check it out, it's like 38 pages. There's a ton of like really incredible artwork. Like I said, from Lauren, who just makes what we wrote even better. Because her artwork is just incredible. And so it's a really cool thing. I'm really proud of the way it turned out. Really excited to obviously be involved in this project. So if you can, I would definitely love for you to check that out and then let me know what you think. And I'm going to try one more time. And if we can't get it, we can't get it because I know we're trying to wrap up here. But I really wanted you to see this damn artwork, but My laptop doesn't want to
It never
cooperate.
wants to work right.
It was not wanting to cooperate with me last week
Just
either. When I was trying to show you guys the Lucha mask, it didn't want to show last week. But I will make sure to post it again to our social media so that you can see it. So you can check out the artwork as well. Maybe? No? Still not going to work? All right. Well, just kidding then. Well, apparently Crash saw them. The illustrations were really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I shared a bunch, and I think that I'll put it in the Discord too. So
that would be great. So if I am not in the Discord,
yeah.
I would really appreciate that.
Yeah, I'll definitely drop that in the Discord as well for people in our channel, so you guys can go check it out. Because again, this is something that like we have a book channel too, and that's how I got gifted the book bike. Because Garrett similarly did. He like, I'm gifting these to 3 people who wants them, and I was one of the people that got tagged in. And I am never going to say no to free books. Certainly not free wrestling books. You know, and they're like graphic novels is really the close. Or it's more like a graphic novel.
Yeah, it's really cool the way that he does them. Like he's done like the up neck. Like he's featured like 5 wrestlers that he thought were gonna break out years, and like Hyann was in his last one. So was I think Jordan Grace was in there too. Like he's had some really, and I believe now, if I'm not mistaken, all 5 of them, the people that he predicted were nice. Okay. Thank you. Crash says that the link does work. The one that I put in here.
Sweet. And we'll put one on. I'll drop one in the Discord as well.
We'll make sure that we post it. I'm gonna,
and I can mention it that way.
I might be a little annoying about it by posting.
No,
about it because it's good stuff. But yeah, so if you want to support,
if you're worried about being annoying with it, then I'll just do it for you because I don't give a crap if I'm being annoying about it because you're all gonna see it as many times as I can post it on as many cross platforms I can. If you don't like it, just block me.
Yeah, because I was retweeting the other writers, so Nikki has retweeted the other writers too.
Yeah, Nikki and I were marking out about you
yes,
online.
Yes, you were. I saw that. I appreciate that. It was very nice of you both.
You know,
appreciate that.
We both know. We know that we've got the real on you. So,
but yeah, Lauren did a really good job because Crash was talking about getting their likeness, and that is really hard to do with wrestlers, and she nailed it, which is probably why Seahawk continues to have her involved because she's very good at what she does.
That's nice. It's nice for like the wrestling community, like for something like that. It's essentially a zine. I mean, it's a digital zine for like wrestling, which is awesome. I mean, there's a lot of hunger for that. There's way more than you. I would love for him to get to a point where he was able to produce physical copies. Just because
that would be very cool.
I know that there's a whole group of nerds on the interwebs who are coming back to physical media like that, whether it's video games or wrestling, or because there is a weird hunger for it because of the losing of sort of like touch with digital being so much of our lives, and that like where someone's like, I mean, dude, I'm reading a physical book right now. I have my audio book that I'm listening to, and I'm reading a physical book as well.
Yeah.
But I have very much, because I don't, I read too much and we go through our Audible credits too fast. I've started using my local library again for the last few years.
Nice.
I love it. I highly recommend it. It's just great. Everything I can't get or can't, and a lot of times, like I can't afford the book.
Yeah.
But I can get it from the library. So,
which is great. That's what the more we utilize it, the better, because then they can get
the more that we can make a case for them to not take it away,
right? And to have their and to use tax dollars to go.
I might take my actual sword down to and to defend, because if it hadn't been for my local library as a child, I don't know where I mean the rec center and the library were 2 things that literally shaped me as a person.
Yeah.
And even the librarians being there and trusting me and teaching me how to respect the library made me like a better person.
Definitely. So, yes, there is something romantic about turning pages and the smell of new books. True. Yeah, I don't read digital books very often. I mean, I do it occasionally, but I am somebody that prefers having the physical book. I like having the new book smell, turning the pages and things like that. So I am.
And you miss there's pictures a lot of time. So one of the things I've realized about some of the books that I read is that there's actually pictures in the physical copy that you can't obviously have in the Audible, and not every Audible book has the supplemental material where they show you
Right.
Some do. Some are like, there's a download with this, and you can see like a lot of the info, and you can get like you essentially get paper things with pictures or whatever supplements or notes, but not everyone. And then you opened up the book and you're like, oh my God, I would have totally missed like all these great pictures.
Yes. Nikki's finally reading Gaijin by JD Oliva that we've had on the show.
Yeah, it's sitting on my shelf. I need to grab it.
I got a copy, an advanced copy to read before it was out so I could leave a review, and it was driving me. I've talked about it on the show at the time.
And you're like going nuts because me and Nikki won't read it, so you have nobody to talk to.
Yeah, nobody else had read it but JD and his editor. And I was like, who do I talk to about this? So I was messaging JD about things in the book because I was like stressed out about something, or there was something that happened. And then like the way it ended, I was like, are you having a sequel? And at the time he was not considering a sequel, but now I believe because
he's been chatting about it.
I believe because of some of the feedback he's got from it. Because I gave him my reasoning why he should do a sequel. And I know that he was like, and then he talked, and then apparently his editor was like, you should probably have a sequel to this. And then I believe
it seems like every month or two,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, it seems like every month or two, somebody in our Discord gets around to finishing it, and it pops up again, and then they're like, oh my God, and we end up having these discussions, and it's like, I've got 2 fiction books next. That's one of them. That's going to be my physical fiction book, and I've got an audio fiction book that I want to be reading. So
yes. So
that goes with my audio serious book that I'm listening to right now.
And Brad points this out too. I've heard of them, but I have not used it yet. But Hoopla is an app. It's a streaming app that you can connect to your library card. And you can take out movies to stream and ebooks and audiobooks. So that's definitely an option.
Our library has essentially similar, or whatever the program. But I can take ebooks. I can do eMegs. I can do
nice.
I can movies. You can rent movies from streaming movies. Right. It's really awesome. Like the stuff that you can access even is just for free is awesome.
Yeah.
So
I've been meaning to check Hoopla out because I heard about it a few months ago, and I haven't checked out Canopy either. But I know
libraries are boss.
Canopy,
I love him.
You can use
I love my library.
Basically, Canopy is basically Netflix, and you use your library card to access it. And they have one. Nikki's looked into it. They do have something that's kind of like basically instead of Rosetta Stone, you can use that app and you can use your library card. But I think Nikki looked into it, and there was something with it. I can't remember. She might be able to say.
I know for our library, you can use Ancestry, but you actually have to physically go to the library to use it. But
that makes sense.
Who cares? I can walk there. So if I ever really wanted to use Ancestry for free, my library allows that, as long as I'm just sitting in the library doing it, which I think is super cool because
that's awesome.
Because it's expensive to buy that.
People into the library, and it gets them using their facilities and letting people know. Because how many people know that you can go to? I mean, of course, not all libraries do it, but like, how many people know that you can go to the library to access that? And how many people know about like Hoopla and Canopy and things like that?
And our town even has you can access all of the records from the local papers because this is a railroad town. Has them back to like 1800s or something like that. It's like newspapers and all of this stuff that you can just go there.
The archives and all kinds of stuff.
I love it. I'm such a nerd about libraries, but I always it's because I love it, and it's still useful to this day.
Oh, right. Okay. Nikki says she can't remember what that app, the language learning app. She said, she was having some problems with her card and getting it to work, and we might have to go down to the library.
That's one thing that I didn't know after didn't remember is that you have to renew it every year just so they keep you active in the system.
Yeah,
but now it's become a badge of honor for John and I when we renew our library card every year. We tell each other about it. It's like, and I renewed my library card today.
Yes. I do remember the Dewey Decimal.
Oh, heck yeah. I knew it. I know how to do it. My librarians, I got so good at it, they let me actually
the card catalog.
The card catalog in the Dewey Decimal System. I got so good at it, the librarians actually were starting to let me help shelf books. So
I'm not at all surprised by that.
No, I know. I know. You're like, that tracks.
No, I don't. Not in a bad way at all.
No, I totally take that as a compliment.
It is a compliment.
I yes, I use it in any way.
Yes, I use the Dewey Decimal System and the card catalog.
Me too. That's why when I went in for the first time, it was kind of weird.
I'm used the card catalog years old.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And I knew when I went in to sign up that it was going to be way past that time, but I still talked to the librarian about it, and she was joking. Because I was like, yeah, I'm card catalog years old, and we were having a good laugh about it. She's like, yeah, we don't use any of that anymore.
Yes. This sounds like an indie character. I'm surprised. I wonder if an indie character has done this with the Dewey Decimal.
This is a good idea. You could go a lot of directions with a character like that.
Thank you, Jordan.
There you go. Thank you.
Okay, so yes. I believe we have come to the end of the topics we were going to talk about this week. Hopefully, if we were supposed to be doing an interview for you guys, but I was having some issues yesterday or Friday, and so we have rescheduled the interview for next Friday with the plan to air it next week. And we took in listening to you guys' feedback. We'll air it at the first part of the show so that we can have a conversation. I think you guys are really going to like this one. Mel is going to be here for that too. We're both going to do the interview with this person. So hopefully everything goes according to plan and we can get this done, because I was really bummed that we couldn't talk to them on Friday. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it all goes well, that the interview happens this Friday. We can bring it to you on episode 199. Then the week after, we are finally hitting the big 200. And then just a few weeks after that, we're going to have our fourth birthday. So February is going to be a big month for us. And so we're very much looking forward to it. And again, as always, thank you for your support, whether you've been here from day one or today or somewhere in between. We truly appreciate it. Make sure that you follow Fight Game Media. If you're new to this channel, we're here usually every Sunday at 1:00. Sometimes if there's an AEW pay-per-view, then we're Saturdays at 1:00 doing the pre show. There's also the Wrap is on Monday night. So if you need WWE content, the Wrap has you covered. Wednesday nights after Dynamite is the Dynamite show. Thursday is, speaking of Strong Style, for all your New Japan things. And then Garrett and Paul often do the Takedown, where they cover usually breaking news stories or the big story of the week and weigh in on things like this week. They did show on Friday, weighing in on Powerhouse Hobbs. And so there's always cool content. So subscribe. Oh, wait a minute. What kind of breaking news do we have here?
Uh-oh.
I'm scared.
Me too.
And if it's about football or something.
Uh-oh. Breaking news. What did we break? What did you break, Brad? What did you break?
While we're waiting, Crash says we're not going to discuss what the ref said during
Trey
Jungle
Miguel
Jack.
said what's going on. He posted on Instagram. He's taking a break from wrestling.
Oh, no. Okay, so if you missed that, Trey Miguel posted on Instagram. He's taking a break from wrestling. Is it a mental health type of thing or just maybe the injury from the hernia?
Interesting.
Oh,
hernias will mess you up, man. I don't think that they're way more painful than I think that people prepare for. And because I watched my husband go through it, and it was very interesting because they cut into your abdomen. I mean, that's like what you literally walking around requires those muscles.
Yeah.
It's no fun. Sam's getting her breaking news too. So
I'm trying to, and I was looking at, I was just pulling up his account. I guess it's in his. Okay. Yeah. His Insta story just says, taking a break from wrestling. Please respect my space and don't tag me in any posts or comments. Go support the Rascalz still. That was 17 minutes ago.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't.
Good wishes. Yeah. I hope he gets better, and I hope he's in a good, peaceful place. Then, I mean.
I hope that whatever reason he's taking this time off, that he gets the help and support that he needs, whatever that is, and that he's healthy. And I don't know, obviously we don't know how that'll affect the plans for the Rascalz moving forward. We'll definitely see how that plays out. But thank you, Brad, for alerting us to that.
Right.
And if we hear anything, if we hear anything more happening, between, by the time we come on air next week, we'll definitely talk about that as well. Sam Cooper breaking news, CNN. Listen, it's funny because they tease me all the time in our Slack group because I'm always scooping them. Like I'll post something and then somebody else will come to post it and they're like, damn, I should have known Sam already saw it. Some of it's because I get alerts on my phone depending on what the topic is. But then sometimes it's just people send me stuff or I happen to see things. And so they always tease me because they're like, God, I scooped. And then they get very excited when they scoop me first, like it happened on Friday. And somebody's like, and they scooped me literally by 30 seconds. Like,
wow.
They posted it and the alert came across my phone and I posted it as soon as I got the alert. So they had seen it literally like 30 seconds. Like, yes, Stephanie Shipley.
Nikki.
Stephanie Shipley is on it.
I love it. That's never going to die. We're keeping that alive forever.
Listen, our show's been around long enough that we can have inside jokes.
We need it. That is your alt, girl. You have to have the burner.
I'm gonna create a burner.
You need. It's like wrestling, multiple identities.
Right? Exactly.
So, kayfabe.
Right. Stephanie Shipley is my kayfabe character.
Kayfabe.
Kayfabe brother. All right. Unless there's any more breaking news, we're leaving for real this time, and we will be back next Sunday for episode 199 at 1 p.m. Eastern time, and we hope that you'll be here too.
Yes. Thank you very much. We'll be here.